2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Perfect. My name's Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. It's the longest running Panthers podcast where every Tuesday night, me and my homies chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. And guys, tonight we got a great show for you. We have a show where we've got Paul Catalina, host of Bleav and Cowboys podcast, going to help us figure out what this Cam Irving signing is. We signed Pat Elflein as well. Last night I recorded a podcast with Scott Mason trying to get some understanding of what that is. The Carolina Panthers have been working to solidify the offensive line, and we're going to be trying to figure out if they've been solidifying the line or just adding bum bodies to the bag. I don't know. A lot of people have a lot of comments. Also, Zach Kerr on the way out. Jermaine Carter, see you later. Right? The Panthers have a ton of holes. Offensive line, we just put some warm bodies in there. But what about, look, I'm wearing a Shaq Thompson jersey tonight. Who's going to play with this guy? I don't know. The secondary's a mess. Cody Lashney tried to help me figure out how the Carolina Panthers could pad this secondary a little bit earlier tonight. Cody, J.C. Horn, Joe Horn's kid, pretty big bad mofo we talked about a little bit earlier. Welcome to the C3 Panthers podcast, my co-host, my man, Cody Lashley.
Man. Yeah, we've been doing a bunch of film reviews here on the channel, and might I say, we've been getting some pretty rave reviews. I think people are liking the content. I love to do it. I love to break down film. It's something I've been passionate about for a while, so I love that I'm able to do more of it on the channel. Yeah, we looked at our first non-quarterback player today. It didn't necessarily go as planned because of weird copyright BS, but whatever, we're going to figure it out, and we're definitely going to keep on doing it. We have a whole bunch of cool things in the work over here at the C3 Podcast. But listen, man, first and foremost, there's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than hanging out with my boys talking some Panther football, and we're going to do it with the most lit Panther fans in all of YouTube. I'm talking Jason Lewis, Chase Ebert, Alex McKenzie, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Blake Bettis, Tin Tizzy, Lance Kubiak, the Bat Daddy, Charles from Elizabeth City.
The Bat Daddy's in the room.
I know, man. Hey, I'm on a roll. I'm just reading names right now, bro. Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, bro. Let's roll.
My man, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe. It's free to do so. It costs you nothing. Just share, subscribe. I'm telling you this, if you're a content creator, I'm retweeting, I'm sharing, because we're out here grinding, just trying to get it done, having fun. We ain't even doing this for that, though. Not for growth. We've been doing this for 8 years now, just trying to have fun on Tuesday nights. It's like the homies riding in the car to the game. And CK, if there's a game we're got to go to next year, what is the game we got to go to?
Oh, we're going to the Pats, bro. The Pats, Panthers, dude. Like, I mean, I think we're going to have, it's going to be such a bittersweet moment because, like, I'm really hoping with what I'm seeing is just a lot of hope for Cam. Like, if he can't get it done this year, I don't know. There is no argument that it's over, right? If he gets it done this year, I'm going to be so happy that he's able to go out there and prove all the haters wrong. But that is the game, man. That's the game that we're going to have to go to, barring any issues from COVID, which hopefully by that point, everything is done and over with.
I'm wearing my Cam Newton jersey, bro.
Mm-hmm. You got to.
Me too.
I'm wearing my Cam Newton jersey, and when my man shows up, we are totally going to be standing up and cheering for him.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing like he made us. I won't say he made us, but he is a big part of just this show in a sense, right? It's like a catalyst. We've all been trying to find that catalyst because now we got Teddy Bridgewater, who is like a neutralizer. That's what he is. I mean,
I have so many opinions tonight about Cam that I cannot wait to get to, dude. I cannot wait.
Yep.
All right, we got Greg the Bat Daddy, my man of many podcasts. Greg, welcome to the show. We've signed Cam Irving, Pat Elflein. We've released Zach Kerr, Jermaine Carter Jr., and there's been some other names that I did not remember. Any thoughts on the What are your thoughts? How are you doing, man? Welcome to the car. All right, man. We're riding to the Patriots game.
Hey, I'm riding the shotgun with you, man. I'm there, and I'll wear my Cam Newton jersey as well.
Can we just do this? Can we do this just before we move? If we do this, we've got to get a hotel. Like, we cannot do it like we've been doing. We got to be able to stay overnight, have a good time the night before.
I'm only an hour away.
We're making But you know what?
I'll
staying at Greg's house then.
Hey, stay at my house.
We're staying at I'm staying at Cody's house. Cody's like 15 minutes away, dude.
10 Dizzy said, wait, did we all just agree on a Pats game being the meetup?
Oh, dude, hell yeah, bro.
I think it's a thing now, bro. We all need to make this happen. And
it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, we need to do this. We need to do this.
You get like a group rate for like a nice like hotel so that everybody that wants to come out there can do that.
And real quick, before we go forward, shout out to 350. Donating that 350 salutation C3 is
what up, Tree Fitty?
Finished being built yet. Rome wasn't built in a day, man. It wasn't built in a day, but we're still working.
And we have like 3 more seasons to go.
With I want to say you were asking me about those signs. Honestly, well, first of all, talking about Cam's sign, the signs for the Patriots, he did in 1 year what we never did for Cam Newton. Like, so that's crazy to see that happen in 1 year. And 2, I don't think we've moved forward with any signings we have. I don't think we've necessarily gotten worse, but I don't see any.
I think we're stagnant. The moves that we made. I know we're going to talk about it, but like I know Cody, you're not horribly upset about all this. I am at this point in time just really confused about what strategy we are as a team moving forward. I've lost a little bit of confidence in Fitterer. I know it's early on to say that, but we're going to talk about this. I think we should probably I'm assuming that Tony, you have some show notes we should go through, and we'll go from there.
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this. Don't worry, at 9:15, we've got Paul Catalina, host of Bleav in the Cowboys podcast, coming up. Also, a stand-up comic I read. So I'm excited to hear about that. Lots of pressure. So the Carolina Panthers, look, but actually, before we do that, again, smash the thumbs up, sub up that. We're trying to get our subscribers up on YouTube. Yep. We've got good audio subscribers, but look, we're diversifying. Cody's been doing film reviews all week. We had some fun interviews last night, so help us out with that. But I really want to get into this. Carolina Panthers moved immediately in free agency on the first day and signed 2 offensive linemen. They signed first was Pat Elflein, former Jet, former Minnesota Viking. He was a third-round pick for the Vikings, who actually, interestingly and coincidentally, the Vikings traded with the New York Jets to move up to get Elflein. And then 2 years later, they release him. The Jets pick him up on waivers, so then he's a Jet. So they kind of got him and the draft pick. He leans more. I think his better play seems to be at center, right? And I think this is a good move for the Carolina Panthers. Is that we do need guard play? Yes, we're going to make him play guard because we don't have any. But I think this is a move to support potentially an injury to Paradis last year of his contract. So the question is about the money, right? 3-year deal. I think it was $13.5 million, $8 million guaranteed. I'll have to pull up the numbers and quickly. Cam Irving, though, was the other one. Added a tackle, but also a guy who played all 5 positions last year. Tackle, guard, center.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to talk to our guest more about, because he's probably the player that I know least about. I know Cowboys fans have been kind of back and forth on him. I kind of alluded to
Panther fans have poo-pooed all of these dudes. Nick Wilson on WFNZ. He was in Cleveland radio when he was a first-round draft pick, and he said he is straight garbage. People on Twitter, Mike Vela in our Discord chat, which you need to join his Discord chat. I put it in the show notes. Mike Vela's brother said he's worse than Matt Khalil, which I hope we if he's worse than Matt Khalil, he can't pick up even trash. Trash blows past him in the damn parking lot, bro. So we had no offensive linemen, Cody. None.
Yeah, and I told you earlier, this is depth. Yes, these guys are going to end up being starters somewhere along the line, but these contracts are not for
week
very
one.
Long. They're not for very long. They're not very expensive. So, I mean, these aren't even long-term fixes at the position. This still doesn't take offensive line off of our draft board.
Yeah.
I mean, the second and third round continuing down, we are going to invest on the offensive line. We are not done. The draft is going to continue to bolster this. And listen, I made this point earlier. We don't even know what position everyone is going to end up playing. We still have Greg Little moping around on our roster. Now we have Cam Irving and Pat Elflein. So we're assuming that that's going to be some kind of guard tackle tandem. There's still a lot of unknowns about this roster right now. We have, I forget his name again, the guy from South Carolina, the guard that we have on our football team.
It's not. It's not Trent Scott. It's
the chat room knows
Dennis Daly. Dennis Daly. I got it.
That's the name. So I think this is good depth. It's making it where we're not necessarily starving on the offensive line position, but we could still stand to bolster it.
Well, I'm not upset with the signings. I'm really not. I'm more upset with the cuts because they make no sense.
Zach Kerr, we have, we lost K1 Short. They are trying to bring K1 Short potentially back. They said they were open to that. That was pre-Scott Fitterer, by the way, that we even heard that news. But they did release Zach Kerr and also Jermaine Carter Jr. and who was it? Chuck from Elizabeth City said that's news to me other than social media. But ultimately, Jermaine Carter Jr. on social media unfriended the Panthers and said, "I love my boys." So just think about this, is that the Panthers were kind of shallow on the defensive interior and at linebacker last year, and a guy that played well in Zach Kerr and Jermaine Carter Jr. trying to make some bones might look to be on the way out. All right. It's the C3 Panthers podcast. Numbers 252-228-5098. Cody, let's go ahead and bring in our guest, Paul Catalina from Bleav in Cowboys podcast, the Cowboys podcast. Also, he hangs out with Orlando Scandrick. How cool are you, bro?
Well, I don't know. I mean, lately, no. I mean, Orlando takes the off season off, so I might get here in a couple
weeks. So he's
weeks.
just making you grind now.
He is. Grind. That's true. He's making me grind. But it's fine. I mean, it's fine. I was happy to get him the first, 4 or 5 months of the show I had to do by myself. So, and I do, a talk show for Sick'em 365 radio every day here in Waco with 2 other guys. So when you have to do it, even for 30 minutes alone, it's harder. You guys know that. There's 4 of you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we this is a long form podcast. We're not the daily dose. We probably should dip our toe in that. We can divvy it up, I guess. But we've been grinding this out on YouTube for the last 8 years, every Tuesday night. And we just hanging out with Panther fans, and we want to know. And we brought you on because you are covering the Dallas Cowboys, and we signed this guy, Cam Irving, who a lot of people have been poo-pooing.
Look,
they told me he's trash. That's what everybody told me right away. He's trash.
All right, I'll give you
he's not
the absolute best assessment of Cam Irving, because I'm a Florida State grad and he was on the 2013 team. So again, if he asked me to, I'd hide a body for him. But but that being said, his NFL career, if you look at it, he is a 6th offensive lineman. It's great that he can play all the positions, but he got hurt right out of the gate for the Cowboys last year, and they really needed him because Lyle Collins missed every bit of the season, and Tyron Smith was out for most of it. And they got I'll tell you, they got better when he came back because the guys – look, Cam Irving's not great, but the guys the Cowboys had playing were a lot less not great. And I'm putting that in the most professional sense that I could. But Terrence Steele and Brandon Knight weren't really that good. And the Cowboys did eventually kick Zach Martin out to one of the tackles because that was the smartest thing to do, especially given the other guys they had on their roster. But Cam Irving, he's a backup. And it's a 1-year deal. He's a utility guy. I think he's fine if you have to play him for, 3 to 4 games. But if you're going in thinking 16 games, this guy's going to be a valuable part of your offensive line, then you've got more problems than just Cam Irving.
We got him on day 1, bro.
Yeah, well,
I mean, day 1. He's a day 1 signing.
I don't think he was.
If he's that bad, we should be signing him in week 3. Go ahead.
So let me ask you this, Paul. Where is Cam going to play for us? Because I've heard that he has a little bit of position versatility. He's played a little bit of tackle. He's played a little bit of guard. What position is he best suited for? And, how is he at that position? Is he just average? Or are we talking about him getting whoever our quarterback is completely murdered?
I would say that he's probably best suited to play tackle, probably right tackle. In that scenario, that's probably where he's going to be the best. He's not really big. Like if you look at the guards, in the league now, I mean, look at Turner, your guy, Trey Turner. I mean, he's huge. He's enormous. Cam Irving, I mean, while big compared to the 5 of us, is not big compared to offensive linemen. He's average size. And so right tackle's kind of where you'd like to see him, I think, and see how that works out. But again, I don't really think that this is something you have to worry about Cam Irving if all right, it's game 2. Cam Irving's your tackle for the next 15 weeks because
I think that's what we signed him to be.
I don't think so. Not a 1-year deal.
Yes, I think it's a 2-year deal.
Well,
first of all, it's a 2-year deal where we pay. Here, let's look up the numbers. Somebody look up the numbers of what it is.
A minute ago, I got you.
But I think it is. He's playing on the cheap this year, and if he's there, so where you're right, Paul, is that it's a 2-year deal in name.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and a 1-year deal in purpose. But the Carolina Panthers only have a starting center and a starting right guard on a starting right tackle on the roster.
Yeah.
Nobody else is there. And then we go out and we get Cam Irving, and I feel like we're going to pay him $2 or $3 million this year, or $10 million next year.
It's guaranteed.
Somehow we front loaded this contract or backloaded this contract.
$8 million guaranteed, 2 years, $10 million.
$10 million. Yeah.
$8 million guaranteed. Then that means that this season is worth $8 million. Then $8 million for a bum player better be playing.
So basically, what you're saying is we overpaid.
I think so. Now, look, I will say this: I have the utmost faith in Matt Rhule, who I know really well from covering here when he was at Baylor. I mean, if you have any qualms about Matt Rhule, throw them at me. I will put them all at ease. I absolutely.
Well, no, we don't have qualms. We want to tell us.
One of us do.
You tell us why we should like Matt Rhule. Tell us why we should be gushing and in love with him.
Well, look, I'll tell you, I only got to spend 3 years covering him, and I got to talk to him every week. I got to he was great with us, the media here. So we really got to know him and got to know the staff really well. I'll tell you, Phil Snow, I think is a defensive genius. The guy is an absolute defensive genius.
I like him a lot.
And what Matt is really good at is he is an excellent leader of a coaching staff, and he loves coaches, and he loves guys who are innovators. So when he goes out and gets Joe Brady, that's a great thing to do, because everybody else wants Joe Brady. He went and got him, and kind of gave him the freedom to make that offense. Now, when you come to personnel, it's tough when you're kind of rebuilding. I think the good news is you've got an owner who loves Matt Rhule and bowled him over financially so much to the point that he's not going to mess with him. Plus he comes out of Tepper comes out of the Steelers system, where their whole philosophy is, look, we're going to hire a head coach and we're not going to screw with him. We're going to give him what he needs. And then if we ever need to tell him hey, this isn't working out, then we'll work on that together. And that really, I think that's a good thing for Matt, because then he can kind of roll into his role as an NFL coach and learn personnel. But really, you look at the Panthers at where they are, they're trying to build through the draft. They're trying to get their salary cap right. Short-term deal for Cam Irving, short-term deals for what they're doing. I think it's pretty smart, because, the long-term guys, the guys you want to give second contracts to, are the guys who are going to come in the last draft and this draft, and that's the ones you want to do that to. So these are just a supplement. And if you look around most of the league, outside of the Patriots and the Jaguars, who always act like they're straight up on cocaine in free agency, the teams aren't really able to spend that much because the lower cap. So there's a lot of moving parts to this right now before it's even official. It doesn't really start until tomorrow. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see more on the second and third weeks of free agency this year, was maybe some big names getting signed to places, because they've got to take the deal they can get.
All right, so we have Matt Rhule, the kind of leader of men that we hope, right? We are really hoping. And look, is sometimes I'm a little wary that personality. He's got an infectious personality.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm a little cautious about. And I'm not saying do I like him too much because he can win me over? Yeah, that's the real worry I have with Matt Rhule. There's combinations and concerns about a guy coming from college to the pro level, but his first season went very well.
Yeah,
and very well in a COVID crisis.
Yeah, if you look at what he did at Temple and what he did at Baylor, the first season is the worst one, and he's very good at, which is why I kind of look at the move with Cam Irving of, okay, what can we do with what we have to make this work temporarily, at least temporarily? Because if you see what happened at Baylor, look, it went from year 1-11. And that was a situation that's outside the norm in college athletics. And then year 2, they're back in a bowl game. Boom, like that, and winning a bowl game. Year 3, they almost won the Big 12, so because he got to build that. Now, he gets his NFL job, and then they went back to not being very good last year. But a lot of that, I think, had to do with COVID. But, he builds, and he did it at Temple. He builds. And so it'll be a gradual thing. And then all of a sudden, once he gets what he needs in place, it'll be a well-oiled machine, And
all right, well, wait, look at that. Look, Greg, Greg,
we only have one fuddy duddy on our podcast that gives Matt Rhule a ton of shit. Everyone else really is high on Matt Rhule.
All right, so first of all, Greg, don't poo poo on Greg like that. Greg has just been a realist from the beginning. That's what he's been. We have been optimists. We have been like, he can preach. He can pour this glass of water for us. We're ready to drink it. Greg, though, has he has not been overly. He's been negative. He has.
Well,
okay,
but Greg, not overly.
Just give me your elevator pitch on Matt Rhule, or why not?
Okay, he seems like a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to make the transition from college to the pros. There's a ton of things that go on different. It's much easier to build a franchise or to build up a team faster in college. You have double the roster, more player turnover from better teams the year before. It's a little bit different. It's a different game. I like Matt Rhule as a person. He seems like a really nice guy, but I'm not looking for a nice guy. I'm looking for a good head coach. I'm not saying he can't do it, but to this date, he has not done it for me yet. I'm hoping that he does in the future, and like I said, I think he can. I'm waiting for it to happen.
Greg say, prove it to me.
Look, and that's how I am. And look, you should all really be like that. I mean, as a person who covers the Cowboys, as a Cowboys fan, the Cowboys get more automatic credit for any bullshit they pull than anybody. I mean, honestly,
this is the greatest guest ever.
No, I mean,
this is the greatest guest ever. He just called it out.
I love the Cowboys. I love it's great. They're fun, but they haven't done anything in 25 years. Look, think about all the things that have the last time they won, cell phones were still in a bag. Still people still had the bag cell phone, where it's a big and clunky thing. That's the last time that they were truly relevant. And heck, the Panthers have even been to the Super Bowl in between that time. The Cowboys have won and been even in the NFC Championship game. So I get
twice, that. Homie.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Twice.
So I'm very much a prove it to me guy. With Mike McCarthy, look, great. You won a Super Bowl a decade ago. Awesome. Congratulations. Do it now. Do it now. So I get that. I will just, as a big Matt Rhule fan, I'll try to just put your mind at ease a little bit. He ran Baylor. One of the reasons he was ready to go to the NFL was he ran Baylor a lot like Tom Coughlin ran the Giants, and with his own subtle differences. But they had NFL schedule practices.
That's super scary.
All
bro.
That
barely worked in the NFL. Do you remember Jason Strahan? Who is it? Not Michael Strahan.
No.
Michael Strahan.
Jason
and
Sehorn?
Jason Sehorn. But Michael Strahan, all those boys were pissed when Tom Coughlin came in there and was trying to put the old man discipline on them. It worked for a little bit. Then Plaxico shot himself in the leg.
He won Super Bowls. Now, the difference I would say between Tom Coughlin and Matt Rhule is that what you just said. Matt Rhule's a nice guy. Tom Coughlin's not. Tom Coughlin is a grumpy old man. Even at his nicest, he's still a kind of these damn kids and their stupid Frisbee in my yard kind of a guy.
Right. Then he throws it back to him. He's fuck y'all, motherfucker.
I'll tell you this with Matt Rhule. If the kids threw the Frisbee in his yard, he'd grab his kids and be like, hey, guess what? We're playing Frisbee. Let's go.
Come on over.
So it's a little bit different, but he learned, and he's learned from a lot of coaches, and he's applied all that stuff. And look, for better or for worse, he's a guy who played under Joe Paterno and this is one of those things kind of like when you listen to Thriller where you shave off the talent from the artist. But Paterno was an elite coach. I mean, as far as coaching football, he was great at that. He wasn't so great at doing the little things or some big things to, help humanity. But, when it came down to the X's and O's,
goodness. Where is this going? This is going off the
But I mean, he's had good coaches in his background. He's had people he learns from. He's really a sponge of college football or of football knowledge and brings it all in. Can he do it in the pros? I don't know. I'm happy he's with an owner that seems to want him to be there and is not going to mess with him until he really gives him a chance, and they're not going to turn it over and turn it over and turn it over. But it all comes down to the personnel you get. Can you get a quarterback Can you get a quarterback that can win? And
nope.
We
can't. And that's a great segue. I gotta ask you, bro. What do you think about this Dak Prescott joint? Man, this mug.
Love it. Here's why.
Big giant coming off a big mega injury. You insulted him to his face. And then he breaks his ankle to the nth degree, and now you want to be like, "I love you. Let's get married."
I was always a big Dak guy. I thought, from the beginning, once he after that first season, like, man, this guy's got something, and he's done nothing but win. Generally, most of the Cowboys' losses in his tenure are far from his fault. And the other thing about Dak is, look, is he paid too much for what he is? Yes, but that is the case for almost every player in the NFL that's not Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers. So like you take, there's, Aaron Donald's probably underpaid based on how good he is, but most players are overpaid because the going rate is that. So if the going rate is that to get a quarterback, that's great, because if you don't re-sign Dak and you kick it on down the road, there's not a plan B. So what's your plan B? So can you put enough players around Dak to help him win? And they couldn't do it with Tony Romo. And he was really, really good at times. And they've looked like they're trying to do it with Dak, but their defense is so bad. It wouldn't have mattered how good Dak was last year if he didn't break his ankle. They still would have been at best 8-8 because that defense was just, was awful. So, I like the deal. I like it. Get it done. It's 4 years essentially with voidable years at the back. So it gives you some flexibility. If the salary cap expands, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Look, there's going to be a quarterback way worse than Dak Prescott 2 years from now that gets a quarterback that people are going to be like, oh my God, what are you doing? So in the moment, because we're prisoners of the moment, yeah, it probably looks like it's ridiculous. But given the fact that there's no plan B for the Cowboys and there's only two quarterbacks with a better winning percentage in the time he's been in the NFL than Dak Prescott, I say you got to do it. Like, do I wish they could, maybe upgrade to the upgrade? But yeah, but who is that? I don't know who it is. So, I'm happy with Dak, and I think Dak will win. I don't know that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones will ever be able to put enough around him, or they'll ever be able to hire the right head coach to get them there, because they haven't done it in 25 years.
Can I ask a question about that real quick?
Sure.
What all do they need to put around him? Like, he's got two great receivers. He's got a great running back. He's got a really good offensive line. What else does he need?
Okay, I can say maybe around him is probably not the right thing.
Okay.
On the other side of him.
On the other side is terrible.
On the other side of him is probably the best way to say it. Is because consistently over the last 20 years or so, the defense has not been really that great. They've had a couple of Hall of Fame players, like DeMarcus Ware is going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Great. Okay. Marcus Spears was an okay player. Sean Lee is going to be, in the Hall of pretty good, probably not the Hall of Fame. But they haven't been consistently good on defense. And it's partially because they don't really value certain things. Like, they haven't valued the tackle position at all. So teams have pretty much been able to run. It's hard. They're all over the place when it comes to defensive drafting. If you look at the draft from 4 years ago, 2017, the top three picks were Taco Charlton, who's already on his third team in the first round when they could have had TJ Watt. It was Cheeto Awuzie, who just signed with the Bengals, Jordan Lewis, who might come back on a short-term deal as a free agent, and a whole bunch of other guys that have. Ryan Switzer was the fourth-round pick. None of them are there anymore. None of them. So that's a draft just from 4 years ago, and they're supposed to be a team that drafts well. Well, 4 years ago, you're already, not second contract out that whole draft.
Yeah.
So I have one final question for you about Cam Irving, and I had to dip out for a minute earlier, so apologies if I may have missed this. How is his run blocking? Because Christian McCaffrey is obviously a big part of what the Panthers want to do moving forward, barring we don't trade him for Deshaun or something crazy like that, right? Yeah. But Christian McCaffrey is a big part of our game plan. How is Cam in the run blocking department, or would you define him as more of a pass protector?
I would say he's better at probably run blocking. That's, in fact, the Cowboys' run game actually got better when he came in and started playing tackle last year. So I would say certainly that, their run game was actually pretty bad for a good chunk of the season. And whether that's Ezekiel hitting the wall or the fact that, they didn't have Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick retired, and Lyle Collins was hurt, and they were playing essentially with one starter in an offensive line for most of the year. That was maybe that, but I think he's probably a better run blocker than a pass blocker. Excuse me. I don't know if you'd be the one to I want him pass blocking, 35 dropbacks or 40 dropbacks a game.
Right.
So.
Yeah, listen, man, you've been very insightful tonight, man. We thank you so much for coming on the show. We know this was kind of impromptu.
Hey, anytime, guys.
Yeah, man.
I love the vibe. I love these messages. I need to figure out how to do this for our show. Get these messages on the bottom of the screen. It's pretty cool.
Oh, you can do it. You can do it.
We're loving
easy.
it, man.
Just send me an email. We'll tell you how it's easy. Paul Catalina, please tell us how they can find your work.
At Paul Catalina on Twitter. Or I'm Paul Catalina 56 on Instagram, although I'm 41 and I don't really understand that medium. So I just kind of put things up
on Twitter. You don't understand
Twitter I get. Instagram,
Oh yeah. I don't fuck with it. I'm the same way. I am 39. I only mess with Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's the only social media I use, and I force myself to post on Facebook occasionally.
Yeah. I just have everything through Bleav, I can automatically click to my Facebook for that. So I don't ever have to do anything. In fact, sometimes I'll see people and they'll be like, I haven't seen you on Facebook lately. And I'm like, well, you're not gonna. I mean, all
right. I'm the same way. Way. So, all right. So you got to give us one comic bit.
Okay.
Come on. You got stand-up comic in your bio.
Yeah. So here's something. I'm probably going to do this tomorrow night or Friday night at an outdoor comedy thing. But this is a new bit, so you guys can let me know if it's good or not. But and this is something that really happened. The other day I had to have a guy come here to fix my internet because a tree fell on the line and pulled it out of the thing. And he had his mask on, I had my mask on, and we started talking about COVID. And I said, well, hey, I was getting my first shot on Wednesday. And he's like, man, are you worried about the zombie apocalypse? And I was like, well, I mean, that's kind of a weird thing to be worried about since it's, not real. But if there was a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be pissed about being a zombie. Think of it this way. One, you don't ever really have to think about what to eat ever again for the rest of your life. You like one thing, it's brains. That's it. One. So menu solved. Two, friends. You got tons of
arguing about arguing about the restaurant.
You're not going to argue about the rest. You don't get with your zombie friends. You're like, oh, I want tacos. No, pizza.
I had that yesterday.
Yeah, I had that yesterday. Like, no, everybody, we're going to get brains. Brains right here. Look, there's some people over there. They're scared and shit in their pants. Brains. Let's go do that.
Got it.
Okay, and then two, you got friends. Like, you're just going to walk around with a bunch of people. You don't really have enemies anymore because all your zombie friends, you have the same goal. There's no political arguments. Like, you're not going to have your little Thanksgiving brain dinner and somebody's going to be like, you know what I think? Trump is great. No, Biden's the best. Not in the zombie world, man. Don't even think about it. Not even worried. Just let's go eat some brains. 3, exercise. You're always walking around. You're going to be lean. That's good. I don't see it like if you're a werewolf, man, that's a lot of work. You got to look at the lunar cycles and you got to put yourself in a cage and shit. Like, you don't you could wind up having sex with a dog. Like, I don't want that. Vampires.
Accident. It was an accident, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Accident. Look, vampires. Look, I'm Italian, man. I like garlic, so now I can't have garlic. It scares me. A crucifix will burn me, and I'm afraid of it. Holy water, wooden stake.
I feel like that's vampires.
I mean, that's a lot of work, though. I mean, yes, you get a lot of ass as a vampire, clearly. I mean, because that's what all the shows are about. But still, and here's the deal: is it vampires? Am I Dracula vampire?
You went from werewolves to vampires, though.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying, of all the things you could be, vampire, am I a cool Dracula vampire or Blade vampire, or am I a sparkly Twilight vampire? I don't know how it works, so I don't want any of that. Give me a zombie any day of the week. Any day of the week.
All right,
and I'm fine.
What's is that all 3?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I guess you could be like a Frankenstein's monster, which I mean that might be so bad. I don't know.
Have you ever been heckled?
Oh yeah, that's the rite of passage for any comic. I got heckled one time opening up for Daniel Tosh, and this is like in 2000.
Oh, I love
2004.
Wow.
And it was before that. It was like 2001. I was just starting a comedy, and it was one of the things like I knew I had to handle it well, or like the real comic was not going to respect me. But yeah, no, I took off one time at just a random show in Tallahassee. I took off my shoe and threw it at a group of hecklers in the back and knocked over a chair so they'd shut up. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Oh my God. I have to leave you with a story if you have a moment to hear.
Sure. Yeah.
So my friend, I go on this radio station once a week. I've been going for like 7 years, and one of our friends, and we just know each other, like the host of the radio show, he's been bringing in us for years. But one of the guys he's brought in, recovering alcoholic, but also he's a funny comic. He moved away, and then he came back, and he was doing stand-up. So we go to his show just to support him. There's like 4 or 5 of these comedians, and we live in the town of about 90,000, right? I mean, a city, but it's not very big. But still, we show up to his show, like we get these tickets, and we go into this room, and it's like, man, it's like 20 by 10. Like, it is small. They have this little stage up there. And then they have like 20 seats laid out. That's it. And so we bring up. So my wife and her best friends who show up later, because I was like, I'm going to support my boy, and they show up and they have been out partying, like partying hard. And they show up to this little tiny room crunk. I mean, they are blasted. And there's these 4 comics that go. One of them's our friend, and he's pretty good. The other 3 they were all right. And the last one was the worst. And he was a reformed preacher. I said reformed preacher. I'm Catholic. You can't be reformed if you're. Anyway, I'm telling you, these girls dropped a glass of beer in the middle of this. And it's like an 8 by 10 room. Right. So, like, anything that happens. They knocked over, like they were talking loud. This guy's tried to do his stand up, and they are just straight talking over him. And they're laughing and this and that at each other, not at him. And he goes, "It's pretty hard to do this stand up with y'all like fucking it all up." And this girl straight looked at him and went, I'm telling you, it's a hard life, bro. Those motherfuckers, these girls were ruthless. They put this dude, they body bagged him, man. It's a difficult discipline. This dude. It's a difficult discipline. And I'll tell you, the one thing like all comics fear, or I don't know, fear, but like it's a headache, is a bachelorette party. I was doing a show in Tampa. And I was the MC, which meant that I did 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then brought up the other acts. And these girls came up to me before the show and said, "Hey, it's the bachelorette party of, Cindy. Can you make a joke about Cindy?" I'm like, "All right, well, I'll make it." I didn't ask anything about Cindy. I was just like, "She's pretty. Here, just that would be my joke. Just She's please pretty. Go away." And so I can't remember the exact joke I made, but it was about her. I'll just say it was about her sexual prowess and how sad the rest of the men in the area must be that, the other 6 nights a week that they would have sex with her are all gone now because she's getting married. She did not think this was funny at all. Her, like, half of her friends laughed, half of them agreed with her. She didn't think it was funny, but it was a throwaway line for the audience. Like, I was just trying to move on and we had to get to it. And so I said I would do it. And, they kept talking. So I thought it would shut them up. So I get done with the show and I'm standing out with the other comics, and people come up and they shake their hands and they, you were funny, or, or they talk to you, and some guys are selling merch and whatnot. And this dude, this gigantic mountain of a human being comes up and gets in he starts poking my chest. He goes, "I heard you said my fiance was a whore." I said, "Well,
To be fair, her friends asked me to, and then I bugged out.
Went just relaying the message, homie.
This guy, like, I thought, the message. Like, all I'm thinking in my head is like, oh my God, of all the girls that I could have called a whore, it's the one who's blowing the Incredible Hulk. Like, he's got
a Viking. She's got a Viking husband. What the fuck?
This guy. So yeah, but it's a good gig, and it's fun. You know, I've done it for a long time.
All right, Paul Catalina hosting the Bleav in the Cowboys podcast. Thanks so much for your time tonight, man.
Hey, anytime you guys need me, just hit me up.
Perfect. That's what the intro says, right, Cody? Perfect.
The
number is 252-228-5098.
Can we talk about something real quick?
Can you shame them?
I'm going to shame them, but I'm going to also say, hold on, my camera's out of focus.
It is.
C3. Wow. You guys are some brutal motherfuckers.
What were they talking shit about him?
God, the entire time, this entire chat was just.
I was hoping that you would start to read the chat room. I was putting the comments.
What happened?
Okay.
They didn't like his comedy.
Bro,
they didn't like anything.
The crowd was heckling his ass, and we was about to. Dude, listen. For the sake of the chat room, I was so close to bouncing him up out of here for a second at the very end. Dude, I'm telling you, bro.
Tell me why.
Bro,
take Joey's comment down. I can't see Greg's face.
Talk to your chat, man. They were not happy with my man at the end.
Tell me why. I was trying to engage in our guest. I wasn't looking at the chat. I'm sorry.
Everybody's just ready to talk Panthers, man. That's all.
It was getting a little heated up in there. Anyway,
I asked them to talk about the Cowboys. Though that was me. I didn't talk about the Cowboys.
No, it's not. It's not him. I think it's just nobody likes the Cowboys, and everybody was ready to talk Panthers. Is all. Right. Anyway, here we go. Right now, chat, we have 82 people watching and only 42 likes. Now, that's what I see on my stats. You know what that means? Subscriber shame.
Shame them. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Get the numbers up, man. Come on.
God, I know. Y'all make us look like the foolish podcast, and we be up here doing real work. We've been doing it for time and time and time.
No, we just got to know when the jokes are bad.
Arma went to the Saints. Oh man,
that was messed up. Man, y'all
oh, bro, it was like Cody highlighted the tomatoes comment, like
bro, vegetables. And you know what? I
so wrong. That's so wrong, bro.
I forgot completely.
I like the other layout, Cody. Let's switch to the other layout.
Like you're getting roasted right now, or something like that. You're getting heckled right now. I was like, oh man.
Let's switch to the other layout. I like those.
I like that.
I like that too.
No. All right, let's do this.
All right, what's next on the agenda? Do we want to talk about the cut?
Cat calls.
Okay.
Cat calls. Let's go cat calls, guys. The number is 252-228-5098. We got to talk Zach Kerr. We got to talk Jermaine Carter a little bit. We got to talk Cam Newton getting all the weapons, but I'm sure you callers will bring us into that in just a moment. 252-228-5098. Let's go.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Yo guys, it's Nick. So I just wanted to call in because the retirement ceremony was today. And I know I'm going to have another phone call later in the week because I haven't talked to you guys in a little bit. And I got a couple things on my mind, but I want to see how this week plays out with free agency and whatnot first. So, I mean, Cam was never even brought up. His name was never mentioned.
I want to talk about this.
He was kind of sort of brought up. I mean, Dave Pepper said that, you know, another Carolina Panther would be coming back and that sort of deal for their retirement ceremony. And I'm assuming he's talking about Cam. It kind of seems like he is, you know, but at the same time, no one ever even mentioned his name. Not until they started showing replays of Greg Olsen, that sort of deal. Like, I get it. They had a falling out. I also get it that Greg Olsen had stated that he had a whole section of his speech, dedicated to him and Cam's relationship. And I understand that in the heat of the moment, you can forget stuff like that. I mean, it happens to all of us, but at the same time, to not even mention the dude's name once, like,
it was weird, man.
That is, if I was Cam, I'd be pissed. I mean, as it is, I would already be pissed. I think there's a reason why he would never come back to the Panthers. Because quite honestly, if I was Cam, it wouldn't matter how much money they offered me. I would never come back.
Why? No, they're not getting. It's no money. Like, he's coming back, bro.
Went to him and tried to offer him.
It's coming back.
However much money, I would still say no. The way the team cut ties with Cam, the way that everything went down last season between Cam. We all saw Greg Olsen getting cut. We all knew that was coming. I mean,
Greg even threw some shade, though.
Money for
he threw a little shade in his comments.
Because, I mean, he was a halfway decent player, but as time goes on, obviously your body breaks down, But I just wanted to comment on that. I mean, I know you guys will be talking about it. Just know that there was some sort of statement that was released by, I forget who it was, but I saw it on Instagram that as soon as Greg Olsen sat down, he turned to his wife and he said, "Damn, I forgot Cam." So, would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. By the way, guys, I'm running out of time, so I'll put the thank you in the next phone call. So,
all right. So, what I think about this is, number one is that might be a little questions when I got a couple of questions for Greg Olsen on forgetting Cam. How convenient that was at that moment.
Right.
Did he feel that?
Chat.
Did he feel that was apropos to not talk about Cam? I mean, like, how do you? I have a theory. I have a theory. All right, let me hear it.
All right, so my theory is less about like. Yes, my first inclination is that there's clearly some sort of a cease and desist on talking about Cam Newton.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way.
And the only reason I don't believe it's that is, why would they come out and talk about it afterwards? It wasn't like it was this, like, I mean, they've had backlash before and they don't acknowledge it, right? I think Greg is not going to listen. Like, why would he come back to an organization if they're going to tell him you can't talk about Cam Newton, right? That's almost right by itself.
I don't think they told him not to talk about it. I wonder if Greg just thought it would be in poor taste to make it about Cam Newton.
Well, that, and I almost, like, there were two theories I was working with at first. I was like, wonder if Cam asked him not to talk about him. And then the other part was, because, I mean, the fact that it happened not only for Greg Olsen, but for TD. Like, him and TD had a great relationship, too. Yeah. And so that's where I'm starting, like, even with the conversations and everything they have, it's clear that they're making it was a concerted effort to not talk about Cam. Like, even David Tepper didn't even say his name, even when he was trying to allude to who he was talking about.
There's someone we got to bring back. There's some problems there. There's some big problems for me.
But my other theory that's
we parted ways with Steve Smith similarly. It's just ugly.
Yeah. And so my thought is less about like an egregious, they were doing it in a way to make it like almost bad. But, my hope is that maybe they're honestly trying to save their speeches, their stuff they want to talk about with Cam for when Cam retires, because it's going to happen.
I will say this though, like, listen, so by the way, shout out Josh J Dub is in the chat. Long-time C3 listener. He says there is some conspiracy against Cam. And I'm not saying that there is. I'm just saying I don't like the whole fucking thing. I don't like the fact that they cut him out of the video, that he wasn't, a part of it. Listen, I love Greg Olsen. I'm not trying to, insinuate that it was on purpose. I just felt like, man, you forgot to mention the guy who passed you the ball that made you the first
guy that made you the dude.
That
made you the dude.
The first tight end in history to have 3 consecutive seasons of over 1,000 plus receiving yards. Like, listen, I'm not going to worry about this.
And he's always been the Cam.
Yeah,
boy.
he's always been the biggest.
He always
Cam Newton. Always been the biggest Cam Newton supporter, and I just I don't know, man. I just wish that Cam would have been more a part of it. There's all of this, David Tepper mentioned that there's a third guy who did a ton of work in the community that they want to bring home at some point in time. So we're assuming that that's Cam Newton. I don't know. It just had a weird vibe around it.
You know what I got so annoyed by was all the Panther fans as soon as Olsen and TD retired, they were like, I hope they come back and become Panthers. Like, of course they are. Where are they gonna retire? Fucking Seahawks and
he's gonna go to the
like, it was
Chargers.
I just did not understand that point of it. All right, so the Panthers, we had those retirement celebrations. All right, well, I guess we should go to the next call out, right?
Yep.
I mean, let's just let them lead the conversation.
Yep.
Hey, this is Juan Conley. I'm calling to ask you a question about the upcoming 2021 NFL free agency for the Carolina Panthers. And some questions. First, what y'all think about the New England Patriots going out there spending all this money already, get these players coming? I'm thinking they're going to the rest of the money out there, get all the players, and build a good team. But what they're missing is the other good players out there y'all talking about, like Kevin King, Griffin, stuff. I'm thinking, what do y'all think about the Carolina Panthers? I'm not saying if, okay? What do y'all do with the Carolina Panthers when they do ever grab the big players like Kevin King, Dunbar, or Griffin, or as heroes? Get two of them come in to build, maybe wait 2 years maybe, or do it maybe 3 players on 2-year big contracts with a third player option or 3-year team option, and sign another receiver or tight end. I heard that we can go after Hunter Henry. That's true or not? And
all right, I'm gonna stop the call right here because number one, first, I think it's a great call right away. It leads us into our segue.
Yeah,
he placed this call prior, obviously, to Hunter Henry being signed by the Patriots. But he said, "What do you think about the Pats?" And thank you, Juan. Thank you, Juan, for your call. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We appreciate it. You, my man, right away. Keep calling back in. Cody, you want to talk about what Cam Newton and the Patriots, right? And he said this is prior. His call was prior to them signing Hunter Henry, and he's already saying they're spending all kinds of money. They've signed 2 tight ends, Hunter Henry, Yanni. Is it Yanni Smith? Johnny Smith.
Yeah.
The Patriots are making moves. They signed Cam Newton on a damn baby deal.
He's still making better money than he did last year, luckily, though. So
really, is it? Yeah. Tell it.
But it's very incentive. It's very incentive laden. He can make upwards up around $14 million, and then I think the base they can come way around with is like
3 or something like that.
Yeah, like $3 or $4 million. Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I didn't think that this was gonna happen for Cam. I really didn't.
Really?
I really didn't.
I thought they were going to cut him.
I'll tell you why. No, it's not that I thought that they
disagree.
would. No, you're not even. You gotta let me finish. What I didn't think that they were going to do is choose to build around him for another year, because it's the easiest thing in the world to do, to blame every single thing on the quarterback. Look at the stat sheet. Forget the fact that Cam Newton caught COVID in the middle of the season. Forget the fact that you had no OTAs.
Their defense had 11 opt-outs. Their defense had like 10 opt-outs, bro.
Yeah.
They had a ton of money to spend because of the opt-outs. And listen, man, I think that especially if Cam Newton looks like he did at the start of the season last year, and he's able to stay healthy, you might see the best Cam Newton that you've ever seen. And Cam Newton's And hold on, in Cam Newton's rookie season, one of the things that we had going for us was we had Jeremy Shockey and Greg Olsen catching the rock from Cam Newton. And now they're going to do something similar up there in New England. By the way, no one knows how to run 2 tight end sets better than Bill Belichick and McDaniels. They've been using that for years to dice up opposing.
Well, yes,
defenses.
Hernandez and Gronkowski. Number one, is like I like Bill Belichick. I ain't gonna lie, just like him. Like he's a dick in the right spots, and he's cool in the right spots. You know what I'm saying? Like he fucking throws the bird up at people that he needs to. But Cam loves him. He loves Cam. Here's the concern I have. I'm starting to wonder if the OC, Josh McDaniels, ain't as good as people be saying. That's the number one concern that I have. Number two, I think it is great that Bill Belichick loves Cam Newton. He brought him back, right? And you're right. They are not just holding back. They're not doing what we did to Cam, which is, I hope you can do everything. You're right. They did give the 2 tight ends, but Cam is not the same 2011 quarterback that he was. They asked him to do it. My concerns ultimately arise with Josh McDaniels. I think Cam Newton played well enough last year. I don't know if Josh McDaniels is the savior that people like to say. And if I see a weak link in that chain, that's who I'm identifying. Josh McDaniels is the weak link in that chain. And I think that we have been too ready to just give him the anointed one. I think Bill Belichick is for real.
Yeah, I do too. I also think that they did a good job in adding Nelson Aguilar. I don't think they're done either, man. Listen,
they're going after a running back.
Yeah, and then of course we're gonna have comments like this. What does this have to do with the Panthers? Listen, man, I wouldn't love football like I do.
We have to play them. We have to play them, homie.
We have to play them. But my thing is this: that's a good fucking football team. And everyone wants to doubt Cam Newton and say that he's done and say that his arm is shot. That's all bullshit, bro. You're going to see this season.
I'll tell you what it has to do with the Panthers. You're going to see a vintage Cam Newton, and it's going to be a problem when they come in here to Charlotte if we're not on our P's and Q's defensively. I will 100% tell you what this has to do with the Panthers is, number one, tell me who the Carolina Panthers starting tight end is. Someone. Whoever put that comment up, because the last I checked is that Chris Manhurts signed with the Jaguars. Last year we had Ian Thomas, and we didn't play either of these dudes. How do you go a whole season and you ain't see a tight end? The tight end was missing. Gone.
It was
in this league. How do you not have a tight end in this league? Like,
it doesn't. Yeah, it's like not even non-existent, bro.
Which 100%. And this is where my confusion is, and I know we want to take this. I have to talk about it, and you know people are going to bring it up, but I cannot for the life of me. And Cody, maybe you can help me understand this. I want to think that it's part of some bigger plan, right? But why in the hell get rid of Kerr? There is no reason whatsoever to do that. We saved $1 million in cap space, and he was a good depth piece, regardless.
He played well, bro. He was like, I remember liking this dude. I said he was going to be the next Kyle Love, like the fat guy that we loved.
Yeah, well, you're not going to replace him for less than the amount of money we had him for.
I don't get. I'm with you, CK, 100, bro.
I agree on the Zach Kerr thing, but I think one other consideration is that maybe we like Bravion Roy a lot. I think Bravion Roy came in a lot last season, and he was able to do some good things. That's another Baylor guy that Matt Rhule is, very. He knows very well. He coached him at Baylor. And then again, I think there's going to be some other some free agent pieces left to drop. I think it was Chuck from Elizabeth City who said this earlier, that, we're not really going to get started until probably tomorrow, the next day, really kind of seeing letting the leftovers kind of fall and seeing what happens.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Kerr is a leftover. Why wouldn't you
Yeah,
unless they bring him back. Like I thought he played well. I am with CK on this.
Like he did, but
my man stood out. Number one. Then you had F.A. Obata, who is still. We haven't heard anything about him.
No,
and not that I want them to. I actually am more interested in bringing back Kerr than Obata.
Well, the thing is like we didn't have to bring him back. He was already under a deal. Like he was under a
see. Yeah, then look, my man makes too much sense,
dude. Like he was already signed, and we saved $1 million in cap space by cutting him. That's it.
Can I also just tell you what I would love though? If the Panthers went and got Larry Ogunjobi, he's the defensive tackle for the Browns, but he actually played football at UNC Charlotte. And I think that he would be
I don't give a fuck if he played at UNC Charlotte.
That's cheap. Oh, but I do.
The Kerr slashing is nonsense. I'm with CK. The Kerr slashing makes no sense at all.
There was no value in it. Like there was no reason. Like even if you go and get
and when you're short at defensive tackle, you're already thin. You're already thin.
Like you have to replace him, and you're going to replace him for somebody more. Like and right now, yes, our only defensive tackle that we know of is Derek Brown, and that's it, right? I mean, we have Bravion Roy, but do we think he is a starter? Like, or do you think Zach Kerr was better because Zach Kerr
played well? No, they both played pretty well, but no one played exceptional.
But was it worth getting rid of a $1 million? Like, I'm really hoping.
I'm with you. Like, I'm with you, man.
I'm really hoping that there was a deeper play here. I mean, and we were having a conversation. I was hoping. Like, I'm sitting here trying to think of every possible positive to this thing happening like this, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just a piece of a chess, game that they're throwing out there, hoping that maybe they can land somebody like a Hunter Henry and somebody obviously. The comments coming in, well, $1 million's not going to do that. My hope is that it was just enough to get them over the top, and maybe that's what happened. I mean, I still even thinking logically of maybe we have an idea of somebody else we'd like to bring in. We saved $1 million for a great depth.
Yeah, it's nothing. And this is where you are right on the money, CK. Is that when you cut $1 million, but you have to replace a body. You have to count the contract that you add, which is never less than that. You know what I'm saying? So, if you save $3 million for receiver, but the going price for receiver is $4 million, you didn't save anything. You just paid $1 more. It's like my wife going out and she's like this. She was like, "I saved us $45. How'd you do it? I spent an extra $100."
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, you didn't save shit, in my opinion. Just what I'm trying to tell you is this. And so I think the Zach Kerr thing was interesting, specifically since that we don't have a lot there. You know what I'm saying? You got Bravion Roy played pretty well, but Zach Kerr played just as well.
I hate that we're making more holes than and we've had this conversation in the Discord, guys. If you have not joined the Discord, I mean, this is going to get you.
I'm gonna share him the link.
Yeah, this is going to keep the conversation going between shows and between our mini shows that we'll throw up from time to time and whatnot. We were having this discussion. I mean, we're creating more holes than we're filling, right? We still you could sit here and look at these offensive line. We're not filling a hole yet. We haven't filled the offensive line hole yet. Okay.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, and this is a naive statement because we are at a position in free agency where we haven't really gotten far enough to judge our new GM on what his actions are going to really hold from a long-term perspective. So I mean, we're definitely kind of reacting to 2 days of free agency, right? And really only 1 day.
Right. But we were active in day one right away. We signed 2 players. So it's not like we're overreacting. We went out and dipped our toe into the water immediately. We knew which part of the pond we were trying to fish in. If you're a fisherman, you know what I'm saying? You say, go. And we went to our honey hole.
Yeah.
And our honey hole were these 2 offensive linemen. And to be honest, it's not wild to think that. Of course, to be honest, we needed bodies. So I'm ready for these dudes to come in and help.
We do. And also, I would like to bring up two things. Speaking of our Discord, I saw someone put in there the Panthers are. So there was a rumor that we were expressing interest in Keanu Neal. Apparently, the Panthers are out on that, according to Atlantic Gettysburg. And what I was going to say in regards to the money aspect and cutting Zach Kerr, listen, I for the most part agree. Like, it was dumb. I think it was good depth. I think he was a motivational guy.
Yeah.
But something that has been pointed out many times is that the wide receiver market is very soft and it's going down. So apparently the market for these receivers just is not what people thought it would be. So, my kind of thought is now, I've been thinking, well, I'm assuming that Curtis Samuel is out the door.
Yeah.
But if the market really is indeed so low, maybe it's worth it to hand Curtis Samuel a 1 or 2 year deal just to keep him here for a little while longer, to have him be a part of this, this 3-piece receiving core of Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and Curtis Samuel, especially if we're going to try and go out and get a quarterback. Yeah. Like it behooves us to have that kind of offensive firepower and Christian McCaffrey. So I would rather have a little bit of money for Curtis Samuel than Zach Kerr. And then of course other people are still speculating that we're trying to save up room and clear some room for Deshaun Watson. The hope is still alive. All right, I'm just telling you.
Is it with you? How about that? Is it alive in your heart?
Today, that got a little. I'm even less sold on it happening because of the fact that Houston signed Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
and if Houston signed Tyrod Taylor, well, they're not gonna want to unload Teddy Bridgewater off of us.
And we have no ability.
I don't want to rehash this.
No, it's not coming to the Panthers. I don't. It's Tyrod Taylor's.
We would have to trade. We would have to trade big time players. To get rid of their contracts.
I don't even think it's players. I think it's like 5 ones.
Well, it's not even that.
I'm talking about something stupid.
His cap hit is going to be massive on what we have. Like, unless he's willing to restructure.
It's next year. No, not this year. It's $40 million next year. He's like 25 this year.
That's still more than we can. Like, 10. We don't have 20. We don't even have 10.
Yeah, that's 25 wasted money on a fucking player that isn't going to do shit for us, man. Like, we have to move on from
Who's that player?
Bridgewater.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta cut your loss and cut bait, bro.
Well, whatever, man. It's just it.
I would be ready to eat $20 million if I was David Tepper and get Deshaun Watson than to be the broke ass bitch that I am in real life. Who's like, nah, I'm gonna have to stick with this $20 meal while y'all eat the lobster.
Well, there's an NFL rumors Twitter page, and their official prediction is that Deshaun is going to go to the Panthers, and we're going to trade.
Man, don't listen to those
and
fools.
We're going to trade.
They're fools. He's going to the Jets,
trade
bro.
Bridgewater to the 49ers.
He's going to the Jets. Or he's going to be a Texan.
I don't know why
the Jets have everything you need.
Here's the thing, this will be a 4-team trade if that happened. You got to think about this, because if we got Teddy Bridgewater to 49ers, the 49ers would then have to have traded Garoppolo because his contract's way too expensive to have both Bridgewater and Garoppolo on there. And then you would have to worry about figuring out how we're going to get Deshaun. And so there would be 4 teams involved with this. And would Garoppolo go to Houston? I mean, with his contract, even. I mean, with them getting Tyrod. I mean, you got to keep in mind Tyrod is
ain't getting Deshaun Watson, folks. Like y'all gotta. We ain't getting Zach Wilson.
Yeah, just
Tony, I'm not gonna take this curmudgeon stuff, man.
I am all on Trey Lance, bro. No, I'm hoping Trey Lance falls to us. That's what I want to happen. Number one.
All right, but just so you know,
that's who I want to be our dude. Trey Lance. I'm all in. I'm all in. You got me. I'm in love, bro.
I said this in my film room. all of his wow plays, they're next level wow plays. Like he really has an incredible arm talent. I mean, he really does remind you of Cam Newton in a lot of ways, and how he will just run you over and run through you. But
his throwing motion is smooth, bro. Though. I ain't gonna say this. Cam looked like he always muscled everything, and I don't want to be a 24 like a hindsight quarterback coach, but Cam looked like he's always. And you said it, guys. It was like he's putting everything into his throws. This past year, you're worried about his shoulder. He's always done that. The problem is not the problem, but in the past, he just wasn't hurt at all. But he's always kind of had this muscled, I'm going to beam your break your fucking face out.
He always threw one of the hardest balls to catch in the NFL.
Yeah, Trey Lance, bro, man, his motion looks smooth, bro.
He listen, he really does. The one thing that, just being a realist, what they did ask him to do a lot at North Dakota as far as some of the passing concepts, like there is going to be a learning curve for Trey Lance coming into the NFL, just because the types of offense.
And for Justin Fields, let's not lie. Come on.
Well,
let us not lie. There is going to be a curve for him as well. It may not be as steep, but there is going to be a giant curve for him as well. He didn't even play under center.
For all of them.
Yes.
And then, no, I got to stop you there. You keep saying that. That's not true. Justin Fields played under center, and he's done
barely. No,
not barely. Every bit as much, if not more than
run plays only. Run plays only.
No, not just run plays. He has some legitimate drop backs from under center. I'm telling you, man. I watch film, bro.
All right.
I watch film, bro.
So do I, and I ain't seen it yet. I want you to prove it to me. All right.
I did a film room on it.
252-228-5098.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to call in. Panthers fan from Idaho. Love what you guys are doing. I wanted to get your take on something, man. I was listening to last week's show, and I heard some knucklehead just talking about basically blowing up the team, man. Trading McCaffrey, trading Burns. I don't know if he was talking about trading Jeremy Chin. Just starting all over and rebuilding over the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. I'm like, man,
sounds
our
exhausting.
Owner is a billionaire with a B, billion. Man, he is not going to sit back and say, oh, let me just buy some General Electric stock this year for my $1 trillion hedge fund. No. Trading back, getting all these picks, that is not the way he's going to go, man. That is not the mindset of a billionaire. I'm just wondering, if Trey Lance isn't on the board, if Justin Fields doesn't fall to us, and we don't have a quarterback, man, there's nothing wrong with picking up an offensive lineman that's going to be an institutional player in the league for absolutely, 5-7 years to come. We're going to get a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to retire in 12 years in a Panthers uniform. Think about how many quarterbacks switch teams in the middle of the season. We will find a quarterback. Let's build around him. Just want to know your thoughts on that. Man, let's not trade back. Those billionaires, they don't like to see empty stadiums. I make it back for 1 or 2 games a year from Idaho all the way to Charlotte. And you know where I sit? On the 50 fucking yard line, 30 rows up, because the stands are already half full. David Tepper is not going to sit around and want a half full stadium. He's going to go at this hard. Just want to know your thoughts on that. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Keep pounding. An amazing show.
Thank you.
Keep pounding, man. Great
Fantastic call, man. Sure. Listen, I'm not a big proponent of the trade back thing either. I hear people wanting to get more picks, But again, man, to me, this is a mindset thing. If you don't have a quarterback, it's going to get harder and harder the more pieces you add to your football team. If we build a better offensive line and a better defense and, start to do things like that, then we're going to be in the middle of the road every year. By the way, Tony got way hotter than he's ever fucking been. I don't know what happened, but,
Did I miss something? Take away. Tony got heated.
Yeah, man. But yeah, not a fan of the trade down, man.
I'm not either.
Tony, I'm glad you weren't here to hear what just happened.
How was that not
Why?
supposed
What
to
did they
come?
say? Everybody
Nothing,
was like,
man. No one
Nothing.
said
Nobody
anything.
said shit. Nobody said no one said anything. No one said anything.
They were like, "Oh, we wish you would have had your Moderna vaccine right here in front of us."
I don't know.
No, that's not.
that was
No. That's turned.
That's not what they said.
No.
They were like, "Oh, bring that girl back." All right. So did you all cover it or what? Do I need to tell y'all anything else? You need to tell me my wife is amazing.
Yeah, I think Cody covered it.
Well, we prefer her. Can we get you to get the fuck out and have her come back?
This is my show. Y'all bitches get out. All right.
Well, fuck.
Next guy.
Ha! Cut me off. It's Jameis Winston. I got cut off by the voicemail line. So, if Trey Lance is as athletic as Cam but as dumb as Jameis Winston, I wouldn't touch him with Teddy's feet, okay? But
that's a good call right off the bat.
After, they were saying that how they arranged their pro day was all the quarterback needy teams, how they used the setup and how they did all these throws. So I don't know how true that is. I don't know what's going on, but they said the quarterback's coach set up Trey Lance's practice that day for throws to the teams that they usually make. As far as how they play their offensive styles. How true that is, I don't know. He threw a couple dimes. I think he's got a huge potential. I'm all in on the Trey Lance vote. And I think that's going to be my number one if Watson's off the team. Man, there's some exciting stuff coming on. Oh, by the way, this is your boy Bleav. Bye. Okay, take it easy.
They said Tony got hotter. That's what I heard.
I can neither confirm nor deny whatever Panthers but FSU is talking about. Anyway, listen, I'm
good buddy.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's just keep going.
Try to thought.
Yeah, but I was going to say
Nation, how y'all doing? It's Keith Cavassier.
Gee, what's up, brother?
Shit is going crazy, man. Yeah, I know that the Patriots got this dude, he got that dude. They're building weapons around Cam. I'm sick and tired of talking about Cam. So, all Panther fans, I ain't talking to you guys. But the remainder of the Panther fans, please quit talking about Cam Newton, please. I said it once, I said it again. It's not going to work in New England with fucking Cam. It's not. I'm sorry. I like Cam and everything like that, but I can't stand that dickhead fucking coach they got. Cheating ass, man. Anyway, besides all that, man,
I like him.
The two offensive linemen we got, we're going to see how the shit's going to work out. I mean, I don't know. It seems like every time we get a daggone free agent from Minnesota, it don't work out. I mean, Matt Khalil, I'm not going to go down that road, man. That one defensive end we got, Weatherly, whatever, he was a damn fucking bust. And Jared Allen, I mean, he bounced around the league, but he was with the Vikings for a while, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see how these two offensive linemen will pan out. And I just saw that Tyrod Taylor signed with the Houston Texans. Ooh. I don't know, man. I mean, is that their backup now? Well, I don't know.
Or they're trying to wait his
come to Carolina. I don't know, man. You know, and Alex Armour went to the damn Saints. Our damn fullback, man. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, he was a good fullback besides that Las Vegas game when it was 4th and 1 and he didn't get it. You know, because every Panther fans know the best fullback we ever had was Brad Hoover. Sorry, Mike Tolbert, but Brad Hoover was that motherfucker, man. So give me your thoughts on free agency and keep pounding, y'all.
Don't tell Tony that Michael Tolbert was a bad motherfucker. He don't want to hear that. Tony's got no love for Michael Tolbert.
Man, he's a pussy on the goal
His
line,
his mama even came at your ass.
He's a pussy. He is a pussy on the goal line.
You know it's bad.
He needed steam, bro. He just needed steam. He needed steam. All right, let me see. I think this is Plate Bettis' first call. I think I played him out of order. So here we go.
Grandma scarf, orange glass wearing Italian man. What's good? What's good? Y'all know what it is. That thumbs up. Destroy it. Free agency frenzy is flying off the. I can't finish the alliteration, but I don't give a damn. Insert your adjective. Crazy stuff happening. Hey, I saw that we're adding all these O-line pieces. I said, hey, our O-line's going to be harder to penetrate than Tony's hair. I mean, all that grease you got up in there. But no, then I started reading more about these guys, and I'm like, wait a second. I don't know if these are starters. Maybe some gap, I don't know. At least we're adding some bodies. Maybe we've got some good subs or still in starters. I don't know. Speaking of the O-line, I watched Homeboy often play like a Jet. I was like, you know what? I like this guy. But then he started talking trash about my boy Cam not being a starter.
True. Like, I know. I went the same route.
How smart are you? You're a Jets fan. But no, he's a cool guy. I like him. That's pretty cool that you guys are good friends. Speaking of Cam and the Patriots, my goodness. Cam was at his best when he had a big body Greg Olsen still alive, right? They not added one, but two tight ends.
Top tier tight ends.
Are pretty dope that I think. I mean, they're Hunter Henry and John Smith. But that's not all. I mean, Belichick is doing what we should have done for him. He added also, I don't know about this team formed, but they got Nelson Aguilar. I mean, they're just putting pieces all around him. I mean, come on. I mean, if he's got an O-line, he's going to have people to throw to. This could be Cam's resurgence. But hey, you know, also, yeah. I was watching Trey Lance. I watched his pro day, and I was like, man, I'm seeing some things that I love. I haven't really studied up on Trey Lance a lot. I know y'all did film study, but man, I saw some things I like. He is as athletic.
I'm in love with this dude.
But
I'm in love with him. Fucking Cody. I blame it on Cody.
Dumbest homeboy from the used to be the Bucks. What's his name? I can't think of it. Thank goodness.
Winston.
All right, so I played his calls in order. That's my man. Oh my god, he's talking junk about this hair. Look at this. All right, so this hair is it is thick as fuck. Oh man. All right. So my boy, he said, you look like Eazy-E. And for y'all, first of all, these cats on the show, they don't know who Easy is. Maybe
Yo, don't play me like that, bro. Yo, don't fucking play me like that, bro.
There you go, too young. So he said, he said, you look like Eazy-E. So I was like looking at these pictures of Eazy-E back in the day. Okay, he just said it, and he was like wearing he was wearing a Compton hat. I was like, I can't rock a Compton hat. But I can rock this LA Kings hat. This is the exact hat my man wore back in the late 80s. This LA Kings early 90s joint. So yeah, I call myself Easy T.
But I still never. But I still made.
Oh, call me the stand up dude. You want me? Here, I'll drop my stand up on y'all. I got a stand up routine.
No, let's
Do you?
not do that. No,
Let's
no,
do
no,
it.
no, no, no. Let's
Oh,
not do
no,
it.
no,
Nope.
no. I got it
Nope.
right
Nope.
away.
I'm gonna throw
number one.
tomatoes at you. It's
Well,
gonna
that's
be
fine. That's fine. Number
it's gonna
one
be
here
like
is this,
Apollo,
and
bro.
it's a mirror. It's a mirror off of Paul Catalina's joint.
Oh, God.
Right?
Oh my god!
Like I'm gonna mirror him.
No, no.
So what did
no.
he say? He was like, "What?" He was like, "If I was
Oh
a
my
zombie, it was
God.
great." Isn't that what he said?
I don't even know.
What did he say? No, tell me
I'm
what
so
the
far
zombie
past
joke
it.
was that was great. What did he say? It's like being a zombie was awesome.
I was going
All right,
to
here. I'm going the other direction, bro. I got it. I'm mirroring him. So I fucking hate soccer, bro. I hate soccer. It's the boringest goddamn sport ever. It's the boringest white boy sport where people run around on this giant ass field like crazy and never score any goals.
Except
None.
for like all Hispanic people play it overseas.
That's fine. Yes. All right, you're right. No, you're right. People, it is the largest sport in the world. That
doesn't mean you have to like it. Yeah.
People are running around the planet not scoring goals. They're not. They are this giant. It's like a bazillion people kicking a ball around and scoring one goal every 4 hours. It is annoying. So hockey went through this. Ice hockey went through this in the early 2000s, late 90s, where the pads got so big that the goalies could ultimately block almost like 98% of the goal. So hockey said this is they were like, we have to make these pads smaller, bro. We have to do it because there's no scoring. Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking at this soccer game and I see this giant ass fucking field. I mean, it is a giant fucking field. It's like the size of a goddamn Connecticut, right? They are kicking and running all over. They have a goal that's the size of a fucking school bus, and nobody can score any goals. So I have a 3-part plan for fixing soccer. The world's most popular sport will be fixed by Tony Dunn right here. 3-part plan. Bam. Number 3. When we designate certain areas on the field that are allocated for more points, like, so if you kick it from here and you make a goal from here, you get 2 points. You get 3 points. Right? They have no points. So what does it hurt? What does it fucking hurt for us to say if you make a goal from 40 feet out, it's like a 3-pointer for basketball? Right. So my number one plan is to allocate areas on the field where you could allocate points, 3, 2, 1, that type of thing. We need to enhance scoring. That's the number one goal. The number 2 goal, continuing to enhance scoring, is like similar to the NBA 3-point competition is you shoot the ball, and then all of a sudden we hit the money ball. I say every couple of minutes the ball starts flashing, and if you make the ball during that period, it's worth 2 points, enhancing scoring. Number 3, actually number 1, the most important part, and this is my stick. This is my bit, bitches, is that like hockey, the pads were too big, right? It was just, and in soccer, they always put the biggest badass motherfucker as a goalie, right? It's like the 6'7" dude who's super athletic. He's got to be the goalie. But you can't make the goal in soccer any bigger. You truly can't. It's the size of a goddamn school bus already.
Have you
right? Like, I mean, if you doubled the goal, it would be the size of a small school. So there is only one option to shrink the size of the goalie jockey goalies. We need to put a maximum height on goalies, 4'9". That's my stand-up bit. That's my stand-up bit.
You basically want little people.
Yes,
legit little people.
Yes,
like Peter Dinklage type of little people to play goalie.
Exactly. And finally, we might get a fucking soccer ball in the goddamn goal.
Do you have 10 tizzies, Will?
You know, I'm telling you. All we got to do is repurpose those signs from the fair that says you have to be this height to ride this ride. We have to say you have to be this under this height to play this goal.
The chat room is midgets.
I'm telling you, yes.
Jacob says midgets for goalies, and then 10 says just gotta lower the bar.
Yeah. Wonderful. I'm telling you. Hey, who won more? Who you vote for? Whose stand-up bit? Whose stand-up bit was better?
Tizzy.
That was messed up.
And
he
Sarah
only had
Taylor,
one joke.
Sarah Taylor is just ultimately confused by this whole fucking thing. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of am too. I don't even know what we were talking about before. What were we talking about?
I think this is a Panthers podcast. I don't know.
No,
Sounds like my podcast now.
Dude, this is not
goes all over the place.
This is not a Panthers podcast. I don't think so.
No,
Yeah,
I was
right.
defeating our guest stand-up, bro. I just beat our guest stand-up.
I will give you this.
In a minute,
I will give you this. It made me chuckle more than the zombie bit.
Yes. Come on, man. Give me that. All right. 252-228.
Still throwing tomatoes at you, so.
Get out of here. 252-228-5098.
C3, would it be?
My man, Chuck. I loved it. I love Chuck. My dude.
I guess this is where we need to really be patient, guys. First day of free agency, we signed a couple of mid to low tier offensive linemen. A lot of people complaining about it. Didn't spend too much money, but it makes a lot of sense. We really don't have any depth. These guys could end up being a flash in the pan. They could be serviceable for a year or two. They really could just add some depth in case of injuries. Someone's plug-and-play player that we can put them on the line. That was a smart thing about it by Fitterer and Rhule to get a couple of guys that can play more than one position. So if somebody goes down, they can fill a role. Or if they're not working somewhere, somebody excels, they can fill the other role. So that makes sense. Looking at things, kind of glad that Manhurts is gone. He was serviceable for a while. I think Jacksonville overpaid for him. I'm shocked that Armah went to the Saints. I like him a lot. Don't think we utilize him enough. I don't know where New Orleans gets this money from. I don't think they overspent for him, but my God, just makes me shake my head that the Saints always doing this. I guess
the Saints are loading up for Jameis right now.
If we can sign Curtis Samuel,
we'll see.
I think the fan base would feel better. I know it's doubtful, but if we could do that, I think it would make everyone feel pretty good in the room. I think we got to concentrate on linebacker. I'd love to have Reddick for Arizona, even though he plays defensive end. I also think we really need to take a look and maybe get a defensive lineman. Zach Kerr was a question mark of a cut. I just don't understand that one, but I trust the guys that they kind of know what they're doing. They've got a plan. You just can't throw everything together the first day unless you've got the kind of money that Jacksonville or the Jets have. Like always, guys, just put some insight in it and help us out through this tough time. Thanks.
I want to say this is I'm not disappointed by either of these guys' departures. I mean, I'm not like trying to poo-poo their time here in Carolina, Manhurts and Armah, but ultimately, I just don't feel like they were difference makers at any level.
I don't think we planned for. I mean, Manhurts 100%. Like he was just a very good blocking tight end. Like that's really what his role was when he got the ball. If he caught the ball, I mean, it was great, but a lot of times he wouldn't.
We were all like,
he wouldn't even catch it.
Yay!
Yeah, like it was. I've never seen a fan base so excited to see a tight end catch a football. Like when we finally get one of our guys to catch one. Like we've been so starved of good tight end play for so long. Like we're just like excited anybody's getting the ball at this point in time.
We didn't even know we had tight ends last year. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We walked into the season with Manhurts and Ian Thomas, and that was it. 2 on the roster, and we didn't see him all year. You would if
you kind of
you're upset about this dude being gone.
Yeah, exactly.
You missed all of last season. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you saw both these guys drop important passes. I mean, not getting open in the in routes that should be an easy, combination for a tight end to find space. Guys aren't elite tight ends. I know Ian Thomas was a big question mark anyway.
Yeah, we're not trying to dump on him, but are we really losing that much?
Right, we're not losing a lot. So they're easily replaceable.
Right. Yeah. Or replaceable. All right, next call.
All right, guys, I'll break it down for you. It's Chuck from Elizabeth City. I don't think Watson's coming. So only 1 or 2 things can happen. We're rolling with Teddy next year when you stay pat and pick the best offensive lineman.
Baby.
Trade down and acquire some picks and build from there.
Don't do it.
Or we're going to have to trade up, and it's going to cost us because they're saying the top 4 quarterbacks are going to be gone by the first 4 or 6 picks. Therefore, we've got to trade up. I'd love to jump up to number 2 and get Zach Wilson. He reminds me a lot of Brett Favre.
All right, this question is for you, Cody. Thank you, Chuck from Elizabeth City. Please continue your call in. Be a part of the Discord chat. You can find that information in the YouTube notes. Smash the thumbs up, all of that. Cody, when it comes to quarterbacks, is there any chance that Trey Lance or a quarterback other than Mac Jones falls to us at 8? Or, as Chuck implied, are we going to have to be aggressive? Be aggressive.
Yeah, most of the big name people like Schefter, I think, mentioned this, and a few others. They envision 4 quarterbacks going before the first 7 picks. And we're picking at number 8. So you do the math. That puts us on the outside looking in. I think it's possible that one of them could fall. I think the 2 that are the most likely to fall are Justin Fields and Trey Lance.
After Trey Lance's pro day, though, we saw this guy throw this 70-yarder on a rope. It was just a beautiful ball. It was just like roped in by Jesus. Right? Did Trey Lance's stock climb in his pro day? I think it did a little bit. And will he be there? I don't know if he'll be there at 8. That's
we saw him throwing, like our call mentioned earlier, his pro day was geared toward the fact that he knew what teams were going to be there, what teams were quarterback needy, and they specifically tried to incorporate routes and concepts into his pro day that would leave him making throws that these teams want to see him make. So from that aspect, I do think that that it improved his stock a little bit. Something that gets lost in the scouting conversation, and it's that, Twitter scouts and GMs, me, frankly, don't always have any kind of real access to. And that's when these teams do a deep dive on the personality and just the overall player themselves outside of football. Because from every report that I've heard about Trey Lance, he is an incredibly intelligent young man. He's a dedicated worker. He has put in a ton of time and effort and to continue to work and get better. So when you factor that on top of all of the incredible physical talent, it's easy to see him being able to come along maybe a little bit faster than most and be able to pick it up and really start to pick up these new concepts and run with them. So maybe his learning curve won't be all that high. But I think you're just looking at how teams evaluate how likely they are to make that jump to the next level.
All right. I like it. All right, next call.
Hey, this is Kevin from Charleston, South Carolina.
What's up, Kevin?
Free agency has kind of been,
boring.
Nothing exciting, but I wonder. I for sure thought Curtis Samuel was going to the Patriots, and he hasn't been signed as like a lot of receivers. So I was wondering, like, do y'all think that's a good thing for the Panthers? Maybe having a chance to resign him, or a bad thing?
I think there is a bidding war going on for him right now.
Should we go after for a tight end since fucking they took him all? And I'm pretty sure, we're going to draft a quarterback this year. We're not trading for anybody. And those are my thoughts. Cool. Peace.
First of all, I love that call. Good call, man. Thank you. I think the Panthers are hoping that the real quarterback falls to them.
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you, I think I want Trey Lance to fall to us. If we pick Mac Jones, I'm going to be disappointed because Cody and everybody else told me to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because y'all
always looking to put the blame on me. It's all right. I accept it.
Lies. That's lies. You try to come in here and be the pretty boy of the show.
Pretty boy?
Yeah. He's like the Tom Cruise. Cody's like the Tom Cruise of this show.
Oh, I like that. Thank you. You're trying to say I'm short? Because I am, that is true.
Actually, you are.
Yeah. So fine, it fits. I'm Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
all
not
right,
a
next call.
Scientologist, though.
Next call.
Hey, this is Kevin from Charleston, South Carolina.
Did we already listen to this?
Free agency has kind of been
this one.
Yeah, this is the one we just listened to.
All right, next call. Sorry.
Hey, this is Jacob Willis from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
What's up, Jacob?
Thank you,
I just
Jacob.
got done watching y'all's J.C. Horn preview, and Cody, I know you're a damn Clemson fan now, and you kind of just changed my whole thought process. Got me a little
horny for some horn. You so horny. Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? No, it just went disappeared. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, that was it. It just ended. Hold on, I'll play it one more time. It was about to be the best call ever, too.
Hey, this is Jacob Willis from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I just got done watching y'all's J.C. Horn preview.
We so
Cody,
horny.
I know you're a damn Clemson fan now.
That's
and
my
you
shirt. That's my
just
shirt.
changed my whole thought process. Got me a little
horny. Yeah. Oh, and that was over.
He just laughed and hung up.
It's the best call. No, call of the night right there. All right, let me see.
Man. Listen, I am your draft prospect pusher, man. Okay, you didn't know. You didn't know that you like Trey Lance until I told you about him.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't want to look it up. That's fine.
Lance is a man. Now I've told everybody. I've shown.
If I'm so horny and this bitch ass is a Viking or a Falcon, I'm gonna hate you.
Oh,
that's my thing. That's my whole point about the draft is that I love the opportunism. But isn't it shitty that we all gonna talk for the next 2 months about 100 people that 1% will go to where we thought it would?
By the way, Joey the Blind Panther Escobar says, "How can you say Cody is short? I've never seen him standing up."
Oh shit!
And I would say, Joey,
shit!
Joey?
He's the only person that can make that joke.
Hey, Joey,
he's the only person.
Joey, please see yourself out.
Because he's blind.
Oh, thanks, CK.
Cripple fight. Anyway, yeah. Look,
oh
JC,
my gosh,
JC.
This is the best joke.
We're gonna get taken
How
off
about
the internet.
this? Is we had a stand-up comment, we had a bump stand-up comment, and then we got the real stand-up, and they can't even stand up.
Bro, none of y'all stand up compares to the dude who can't stand up.
Y'all didn't even get it.
I got it. I felt bad cheering for it.
Too much.
Yeah.
I cheered prematurely. God damn. I laugh at your shit.
Crazy.
I laugh at you. All right, next call.
I blame Joey for this.
All right, I called out for whatever damn reason, but this is Jacob again. I never thought I'd hear a damn Clemson fan and Cody talk so highly of my Gamecocks. Yeah, man, J.C. Horn is the truth. We all know his father, Joe Horn, played for the Saints back in the day. Just a hell of a receiver, man, and he's got all the prototypes you want at a corner, right? And I don't think he'd be there in the second for us, unfortunately. But if we could trade back, if we did a trade back scenario, obviously he would be he'd be the go-to man. Like we could stack corner, grab another skill position, ideally an lineman with the first pick when we trade back, or either or. And I don't know what's going to happen with the Curtis Samuel situation, but another Gamecock out there, he'll be there like in the third or fourth is Shy Smith. I don't know if you guys did a dive at him yet, but I think he'd be a hell of a number 3. He's coming out the gate in the league. Hell of a slot receiver. I mean, he really can do it all. Should do another film on him, Cody, to see what you think about him. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Gamecocks coming out in this draft. Just your thoughts on that, and yeah, man, that'll do it.
Let's turn our attention to Curtis Samuel. He brought it up. Curtis Samuel potentially leaving. Actually, not potentially. Should leave the Carolina Panthers. I was talking to my boy Scott Mason on the Play Like a Jet podcast, and guess what he wanted to know? He's like, "What do you think about Curtis Samuel? You love?" Yes, I was like, "We love him." Or Cody loves him. I loved him 2 years ago. So I was disappointed in him.
By the way, can I just say to our caller, man, look, when it comes to putting talent on my Carolina Panthers, I don't give a damn what school you come from, even if you're a damn game coot, man. Listen, I was high on Deebo Samuel. I was high on Javon Kinlaw last year. I like Israel McQuamu too. So I've been endorsing. I want the Panthers to draft from all around the Carolinas. I'm talking Wake Forest, UNC, Clemson. Like really drive home that Carolina culture whenever you have the opportunity to do so. So yeah, as far as Curtis Samuel is concerned, man, listen, I've been.
That's what the question is. Charles Chuck from Elizabeth City brings this up: is what is the news on Curtis Samuel? He was not a first day free agent.
I think he's waiting for the market. The same thing with like Will Fuller. I mean, that's why you're only seeing Aguilar. You're not even seeing Galladay out there. I mean, Fuller is waiting for the market to reset, to be able to have somebody who's willing. The problem is a lot of these guys are waiting for the long-term contract. And I think that's a bad mistake that you're making. Like the anticipation was there were going to be a lot of 1-year deals this year because of the circumstances with the cap. If you Bleav you're a good player, play yourself into a nice long contract when the cap goes higher. You're going to play yourself into a better paycheck than anything else. And I think that's where a lot of these guys are really running into roadblocks. I think that they're not getting the looks that they want because people aren't interested in signing, 5-year deals with a backloaded contract.
Right. Or anything beyond 2, it seems like.
Yeah.
2 and 3 is like the max. 3 is like a good deal right now.
Yeah. 3 is the new go-to.
Yeah, the number's 252-228-5098. You gotta wonder, is the NFL creating COVID to drive down something?
Wow.
Deep
conspiracy.
You heard it here first. Goodell created
I know.
Just go ahead and put that out on Twitter chat.
I know. I mean, but if you think about it, is
C3 broke it.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that everything has been inflating. I don't think the owners give a fuck. I truly don't. Like, if it goes up 10 million, they don't care because it's all escrowed out. They got all of it. So it doesn't matter how big the salary cap is. I just wonder how the other sports are going to handle it. The NFL can handle all of it. I wonder how the other sports will handle it. Numbers 252-228-5098. Subscribe. Do your thing.
Hey. You know who the fuck it is. Tony, you flip-flopping, Kim K jumping motherfucker, bro. I don't even want to see you wearing a fucking Shaq Thompson jersey after all the fucking yak you've been fucking talking about that nigga G.
I've talked so much shit about
fucking now, bro. And when we signed Curtis Samuel, I don't need you jumping on his dick either, bro. Because we all know how you feel about Curtis Samuel, you heard?
He's right.
Hot. Listen, don't come with that lame shit, bro.
He's right.
You're talking outside of both sides of your mouth, man.
He's right. Look, I bought this bitch before he even played the snap. So shut up. Like, I'm gonna wear it. But he is right. He's that's a good call right there. All right, next call. Play, motherfucker.
Hey.
Same one.
You know who the fuck it is.
Next
Tony,
one.
you
another one.
Oh, look. D, baby, I got a lot to fucking say, man. We signed some soft ass pussies, man. These two offensive linemen we just signed are some soft, injury prone ass pussies, man.
I can't disagree.
It baffles me, bro. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'd much rather
we needed bodies, bro. We needed pussy.
Carolina, a dog. If Panther Nation know this, Trey Turner is a 5-time Pro Bowl NFL offensive guard.
We're not gonna pay him
the motherfuckers don't grow on fucking trees, man. They just don't. And we give all this money to these pussies.
To who?
These soft
Who we give money
pussies.
Someone.
One is coming off of a season-ending injury. Like, what are we doing?
That is
It makes
concerning.
no
The knee. The knee.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This Elflein or Elflein, like, come on, bro. If you were an offensive lineman for the Minnesota Vikings, I just don't want you, bro. And for the Jets, like, come on, man. Like, this is the best we can do.
Oh, man. C3 is on fire tonight, boys.
We're on fire.
Boy.
On fire.
Boy.
Can I just say, like, Pat Elflein, like, I don't really know too much about, like, why the Vikings just released him. I just remember I liked him coming out of college. And listen, so much of the offensive line is the guy playing next to you. I mean, your offensive line has to move as a unit.
Baby him up in there. Like,
I'm just telling you the truth, man. I mean, like, that's why, okay, look at Darrell Williams. For years, we did nothing but shit on Darrell Williams and tell everybody how much he sucked. And he was a liability. Yes,
that's a lie.
Did.
That's a total lie. That's a total lie. That is not what the conversation was.
Yes,
you are lying, bro. That is not what the conversation was.
Tell me that I'm lying.
Wrong.
There was no love lost for Darrell Williams amongst Panther fans. We were happy when his ass left. We were happy
when he left. When he left.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's what I'm saying. And
now, he played well for a moment, and then he
played one good year, and that was it.
Right. You can't just be like all of a sudden like we like shitted on this dude, and then you're gonna let these other people relish in it. No, he was good for a moment. Then he got hurt. People over expected on him. Next, that's the thing. Is that when you drive those,
he just underperformed. He underperformed. My point being, and even saying that, is then
he's a guard. To the Buffalo Bills. That bitch is a guard.
He goes to the Buffalo Bills,
guard.
And he had a career year last year. So what I'm telling you is, you can look at stats and see how terrible an offensive lineman is. And sure,
they just
maybe he does have problems. But if your offensive line isn't playing in tandem and you're the right guard, and your right tackle and your center don't do their job, then it makes it harder for you to do your job. All of these things are in context. So I don't hate the Pat Elflein signing as much as people do. I think he's going to be a really good interior player for us. Cam Irving, we can talk about just because I don't know where the fuck that man's going to play for us.
He's our left tackle, homie.
Oh no, hell no.
He's our left tackle. Look, we have. Well, what are we gonna do? Then we're drafting. Then he tells us that our draft is going left to Penei Sewell.
What?
If he's not our left tackle, then who is? Tell me that. Tell me.
Draft Sewell if he's not our left tackle. I mean, it's a possibility.
I mean, like, if you're trying to tell me we just signed this motherfucker for $10 million for a year, and you're saying he's just going to be a backup, what position is he going to be backing up, and who is going to be playing it is my number one question. And they drafted him to play.
I think we're probably going to end up
who did I just say? Who did I just say, Greg?
No, not at number 8. Yeah, you were saying Penei Sewell.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna put in a fucking 78th pick?
I mean, no. Listen, with our second round pick, there's going to be a lot of good players in the offensive line that are going to fall. I think sometime
that are going to be a starting left tackle next year. That are going to straight be a starting left tackle in the NFL day one.
Christian,
that's what you think
out of Virginia Tech.
We're going to get him. Are we going to get him?
Well, but that's
are we going to get him?
They could fall to the second round. Yeah.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
There's a bunch of really good offensive linemen in this draft.
Yeah, it's an offensive lineman heavy draft.
Yeah, well, it might be heavy offensive lineman, but seriously, we have no offensive line. You can't just draft a guy and expect everything to work out. It just doesn't make sense.
Joey wants you to play his call with the last digits of 5522, but I don't know if I'll stand for it, bro.
Man, I'm playing the calls.
You missed
my God. Oh my God.
Joey,
Tony can't even.
I heard it. I chuckled.
My goodness, Tony.
Tony, now you're not laughing at my jokes.
I was going to say wait and see.
Oh, okay.
Is that not a good joke? My bad, bro. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, what was the last digits?
Because
I don't see it.
55.
What?
5522.
One more time, my earbud. Oh, nope. Wait.
5522.
Yeah. 5.
Oh,
5.
Yeah. 555. No, he's not even in the list. 5552. Let me see.
5522.
Not 2255. 5522.
He's not there. Joey is. I mean, I can't see him. I can't see Joey.
Oh, damn.
It's not 2552. It's
5522. All right, here it is. I found it. I can see Joey. Joey, I can see you. Can you see?
I don't hear him.
Me either.
Hey.
See,
you know who the fuck it is.
Oh, there it is. Maybe.
Hey guys, it's Joey.
Hey,
I just wanted to call and say that we're talking about why the hell would we cut? Oh my God! Every time, seems like every time I lay down, I got the sniffles. I don't know why. When I sit up, it's fine, but when I lay down, I don't know. It happens for months. Anyway, talking about when you cut Zach Kerr, like why the hell would you do that? It only saves $1 million. Like they're just trying to save any money at all. Like, have you ever like done something and like you've done it and like you've gotten
like you went digging for gold, like you go to Reed's Gold Mine or whatever.
Never done it.
And you go digging for gold, right?
Never done
Say
it.
you find some, and you keep finding some, and you keep finding some, and then it dwindles, and then like you
Unrealistic.
just like are just hoping for like anything, like the size of a salt grain of gold.
Totally.
That's
Definitely done
basically
that.
Where the Panthers are now, cutting people, trying to free up space to go get Sean because we got a bunch of motherfuckers we gotta pay to not play football. Compliment of Marty Herney.
Get him. Get him.
That rather
Wasn't just
glorious
Marty this time.
individual. Anyway,
KK was not a Marty Herney
but
contract.
yeah, I think
I
we're
know.
going after Deshaun, guys. Like we're
We're
trying
not.
to take every possible
We
penny
ain't
we can
getting
to go after Deshaun without having to trade key players that Deshaun.
I don't think you're going to get him without trading key players.
Anyway, guys,
All right.
that's my thoughts on that. What are yours?
Look,
You know how the
may
deal
cut him
is.
off right before he does it.
No,
Maybe
let that man growl.
Wow, wow.
Oh, that's the best growl ever.
Practice doing that in my
Best
milk
growl ever. All right.
Yeah, you're
Don't
right.
ever hate on me, Joey the Blind Panther, because I let that call go to the end. Because I think we're out of the Deshaun running. I just don't think we were ever in it. I don't think we were ever in it.
Well, it's clear that you think so, but I think
No,
Panther
no,
Cody.
Cody. Let me prove my point really quickly. Is we just didn't have enough to offer. And yes, you could be like, we will offer our next 10 first round draft picks, but that's not really a fair kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? You can't really truly say that to me. Is that the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets have a second, and a third or fourth? We don't have that to offer. So, I mean, yes, if you want to trump their offer with 27 first round draft picks, then go ahead. I mean, it's theoretically possible, but the Jets and the Dolphins have the chops to do it. We don't. We just don't have it.
I mean, it ain't over to the fat lady sings, man. But you know,
You're lying to yourself.
I want it
He's
to happen.
lying to himself.
I want it just to happen so that way we can be on this show and laugh at you and be like, remember when you said this wasn't going to happen? And we're going to be like, yeah, here we go, boy. Deshaun Watson.
Hey, if I don't think it's going to happen either. If it does, you have all the right to laugh at me you want to. I have no problem being
laugh
wrong.
away, bro. Laugh away.
Because I am not a loser in that situation. Yeah, that's
laugh
fine,
at me. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be my stand-up comedy one.
Dude, Greg has always maintained I'm going to have the position where I win regardless.
Right.
Like think about it. Like even with his I don't like Matt Rhule. Well, if Matt Rhule turns out to be good, well, I'm a Panthers fan.
Yeah,
good.
I was wrong, but I'm still exactly.
But it's good. I win. But whereas we're like, oh, Matt Rhule is good. If he's bad, we lose in two different accords. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
That's true.
All right, I think those were all the calls. What we need to do.
Are you serious? We might actually get out of here early on Tuesday night.
Dude, we're refreshed. I'm gonna refresh it right now,
dude. Wow, that's so crazy. I think the Snyderverse film is gonna be good.
All right,
I don't know. I've heard.
You want to start it? Are you? No, it's gonna
I had
suck.
to kick the hornet's nest, bro. I had to.
How is a 4-hour movie going to be great? And if Greg doesn't suck, that movie.
Hold on. You're telling me you've never sat down and watched 4 hours of a television show streaming in one consecutive motion? Wouldn't that be the exact same thing as watching a 4-hour movie? Because I know you've done it. Everybody has.
Damn.
Like, everybody has.
Bombs. It's truth bombs, bro.
All right,
Now going.
all right. That's a good. All right. I'll let that argument go on. All right, good. Yes, I have.
No, it's going to be easier because it's at home.
That's all you got.
Well, no, I'm saying a 4-hour movie in the theaters. I can see how people would not like that as much.
Right.
But a 4-hour movie where you're at home, you can stop everything else.
And will the theaters survive this? Is kind of the question because For me, Greg, is I don't want to watch just an 2 hour or an hour, 120-minute movie anymore. I want to watch a 10-episode show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I want to watch.
I'm a fan of shows over movies now anyway, just because I prefer the more long-form storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you liked movies originally.
Well, and shows have so much better.
Isn't that why you originally liked a movie? Is because a TV show had to be done to this confine of a. All right, so let's say this. Say you're Law and Order, which is the greatest TV show in the history of the world. Right? I mean, like, is there a more successful TV show than Law and Order? I don't think so. Right? I mean,
successful more than
it's like 30 years deep. It's like mad. Like Law and Order is a great TV show, and they have this model. It's the first 30 minutes is the detectives. The second 30 minutes is the attorneys. Right? They just do it every time. Bam, bam. It's formula TV.
Is that the one that goes? Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yes.
boom,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
And to be honest, I would argue, is there a better, like, what is the show that rates against it? I'm interested in seeing which one rates against it. But my thing is this:
The Simpsons.
No, not fuck that. No.
Yes,
not even
dude.
close.
The Simpsons is way more culturally relevant than Law and Order has ever been.
Well, in that case, South Park and Family Guy are more culturally relevant than The Simpsons is.
Well,
And
but
that's
there would
totally
be no
wrong.
South
It's totally
Park.
wrong because
There would be no
because
South
Law and
Park
Order
or
does
Family Guy without
Trayvon
The
Morton
Simpsons.
cases. They do cases that like they do culturally relevant like moments.
But
my point is this: is that no matter what, we are there is a point where you cannot outright our interest. And Greg, write this down for your podcast. I'm telling you, Greg, this is what you got to tell me. Tell them, and you got to tell them that Tony said. Is there is a point where you can't come up with a story that is more interesting than our brains. Like, there's a point, like, you can come up with the best story in the world. Like, pick the best person, and there's going to be a point where we get worn out by it. We get tired by it. But if you make it about character development rather than the story at that point, you can go forever.
Like James Bond, right?
Like, yeah, if you make it about the person,
or
the
Batman.
story,
With
characters
that have been around, characters that have been around forever. You know, that people will always watch and listen to. Yeah,
the story will get boring. The characters will get developed. I will give you this: McNulty and The Wire. I will give you this. Pick just pick whatever show. What's your favorite show, Cody, on the internet right now?
My favorite show on the internet?
And your favorite show. What's your favorite show? And I bet you it's not about the storyline. I guarantee you it will be about the character.
My favorite show of all time is probably Game of Thrones. When it first started, those first 5 seasons, followed closely by Breaking Bad.
All right, so in both of those shows, could the storyline ultimately keep up with the characters? And I don't think it can. It's like we start to root and hate for certain characters.
Yeah.
Like if you think about this, Greg, is if I had to give you a copy every year, right? I'm going to give you this written copy and it has to blow you away.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible after 7 years to blow you away. Like, I just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, the story can't continue to
It's why Fast
blow
and
you
Furious
away.
needs to stop, to be honest with you.
It's all about the characters.
Yeah.
All about the characters.
Hey, can I break some news right now? That's
please.
Happening, and it's really fucking weird. And this is from Benjamin Albright, NFL. Okay, check mark. So this bombshell just came across my desk, and it's some dude, Tony Busby. It's like a picture of like an Instagram post or something. I'm extremely proud to represent those who have perceived power against those who have perceived power. Things are changing in this country and in this all this aggrandizing. And it goes on to say, today we filed suit against Deshaun Watson. Too many women have put up with behavior that we all know no one should put up with. Should we make excuses for the famous or those who hold special positions or quarterbacks on a local professional football team? I don't think so. All people are equal and all deserve dignity and respect. So basically, they go on to say that they're filing.
He's a womanizer, man.
And then it goes on to say, I'm a Marine. I'm not easily intimidated. If you have info or have been a part of this, contact my office. Bro, this sounds like some fucking disinformation from the Houston Texans.
It almost makes you
or
think
from the Carolina Panthers.
Bro, dude,
it's from the Carolina Panthers. I put this tweet out.
Trying to ruin the name. Nobody wants him. We'll take him over here. We'll take him over here.
This is me.
Yeah.
Bro,
that's right. I'll take this womanizing bitch.
We'll do
right
it. Our prosecution is far more severe. Like they'll just bring him over here. We'll be fine.
That's right. We will handle this harshly.
We'll handle it harshly. Oh my gosh, bro. That's insane. That does I was thinking that same thing, but I also was thinking if it's all real, talk about not playing your cards right, Deshaun.
No, but dude,
nothing, man.
Listen, man,
that's nothing.
But one,
nothing.
I'm also not just I know how this shit works, and whenever powerful people want someone to be defamed, I know how easy it is for people just to make up some bullshit and pay off some woman to make up some shit, especially if you're an owner of a football team. Bro,
that story ain't gonna do shit, bro. You can just go play for the Texans. I'm sorry, that story ain't shit. He could just be like, all right, I'm just gonna start for the Texans for the rest of my life.
And that they filed,
and he makes $140 million, bro. It does not hurt Deshaun Watson one bit. I'm sorry. Get that story out of here. I don't even care if it's real or not. He's got too much money for it to matter.
And listen, bro, Deshaun Watson is one of the coolest fucking dude.
He's one of the coolest womanizers that fucks your girl, man.
Bro. I don't think that this is.
You said that, not me.
Nah, bro, that was you, bro. Your mom would be so mad.
You said that, not me.
But
my mom's not here. Hopefully,
she was earlier.
I couldn't even find. Really?
Yeah, I did see it.
She was there during your stories.
She said she's calling. By the way, I didn't mean to tell you. Corey Roberts said he sent you an email with an audio file. I don't know if that was his call. If you want,
because he's from the UK. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. He can't call in.
I get it. I'm gonna download.
What's up, guys? This is Corey calling out of Newcastle in the UK. I just wanted to call in.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play it right here.
What's up, guys? This is Corey calling out of Newcastle in the UK. I just wanted to call in and give a big thank you to all you guys for all the content you've been pushing out recently. Obviously the podcast every week. I can't always get in to watch it live, but I do whenever I can, and I watch every week on Spotify when I can't. But I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for all that. I really appreciate it. And the main reason I wanted to call was just regarding all the talk in the community about the couple of offensive linemen that we've signed in free agency. There's a lot of negativity in the community, saying, these guys aren't the best that we could have got and we've overpaid them. And while that may be true, there may be better guys out there. Maybe we could have got these guys a little bit cheaper. At the end of the day, guys are they're not going to be Pro Bowl guards or Pro Bowl tackles. They're here to fill gaps in the roster that have been left by the people that have left in free agency. the harsh truth is we're not a team that's built to win now. Whether we've got, a Pro Bowl left guard or Pro Bowl left tackle, that's not going to be the difference that pushes us over the edge to become a Super Bowl contender. Realistically, the best case scenario this season would be a wild card playoff spot and maybe get a lucky win. But even that seems very far-fetched when it's looking more and more likely each day that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be our starting quarterback next year. I think ideally we'll get Trey Lance with the number 8 overall pick, and then we'll let Teddy sit behind this line this year. He's the one that can, get hit constantly, get sacked constantly, due to this awful line that everyone seems to think we'll have. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think, but I sort of agree it's not going to be, the sort of offensive line you want for your franchise quarterback. So I say we'll let Teddy sit behind the line this year, let Trey Lance sit for a year, learn under this coaching staff and what he can learn from Teddy Bridgewater. And then, once we've got Teddy Bridgewater's contract off the books next year, we'll save money from K1's contract, and I think we don't have any more dead cap from Kuechly next year. That would allow us, a lot more funds to really build the offensive line. We can, grab some pieces this year. Dylan Redunge from NDSU is a guy that I really like in the second. And then, it gives more freedom as well, with us not having to draft so many linemen. And because we've plugged some gaps, it allows us, to use some of those, mid-round picks, late-round picks to pick up some more depth and, positions that we need elsewhere. One guy's, Hamza Nasser-Raddin out of FSU. I'm not sure if any of you guys have watched any of his tape or heard of him, but he's a very versatile player. He's a lot like Jeremy Chin. You can play him strong safety. He played free safety. You can bring him down to play middle linebacker. He can play in the slot. He's a guy I think, we can maybe pick up, whether we trade down or back up into late in the third, or maybe even get him with our 4th round pick. But again, I think it just gives us, by drafting these, signing these free agent linemen rather, it just gives us more ability to have more options later in the draft, and we're not just going to have to, every pick isn't just going to be a pick for, build the line. I know obviously you want to build your line through the draft, and I think we should still make some picks, like I mentioned, Dylan Redun's in the second.
Yeah.
But like I say, I think it just gives us a lot more, options. But like I say, I just wanted to call and just say thank you for all the content you guys have been pushing out. Shout out Chuck from Elizabeth City. But yeah, that's all, that's sort of my 2 cents. But like I say, thanks very much, guys.
How about that? How about
Appreciate
that? You got
all, man.
Callers getting a shout out. Caller to caller shout out.
Yeah, man.
On top of that, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Dawn. Good God. What happened? What happened during that call, guys?
Your mom.
Yeah,
is that your mom?
My mom. Yeah, that's my mom.
She was trying to call
Why?
in. She was trying to call in.
mad. She was mad. What did I say?
She was trying to wash her mouth out with soap, mister. No, I'm playing. Dude.
Probably said something about women.
Hey, so one shout out to Corey Roberts. Thank you for calling in, man. I'm happy that we get to hear from people outside of the states that like our content and enjoy the content. I also know that he likes a lot of our other viewers that are outside of America, like the earlier content during the day. So we're going to continue to try and do that. My problem is this.
Trying to call.
Yeah, she's mad at you, man. She's
my sister
calling in right now. Yeah, but I do think that if we had Teddy Bridgewater start the season, my fear is this, right? Let's say we draft Trey Lance, and Trey Lance does need a little bit of time to actually acclimate to the NFL. I'm worried that if Teddy starts to fuck up really bad and starts doing the same old Teddy Bridgewater thing,
we throw him in.
Yeah, and we're going to force Trey Lance into a starter position when you might not be ready for that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying for certain that Trey Lance isn't ready to start. I don't know. But, that's my only trepidation about having Trey Lance start under Teddy. And I know how the fans are. So it's like I don't see very many people in our fan base giving him a lot of leeway. So
yeah, the only thing that like the biggest argument I have for that part is like we did the exact same stuff to Will Grier, and we haven't given him a shot since. You know, like nobody wants to believe that he can be a good quarterback in the NFL. I mean, in reality, he was thrown into one of the worst possible situations he could have been. Like, I mean, and I'm not saying that he's going to be an all-star, but I think that it's, you know, if we have to go forward with Teddy and we end up benching him, I would be all right with our coaching staff seeing what they can do with Will Grier.
All right, I think she called in twice, bro.
Oh no,
she left a message.
Watch out, I'm in trouble.
Oh, that's not even.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You said answer the phone. Oh no, that was J-Dub.
Y'all, thanks. I'd love to talk to you. Your mom.
All right, that's good.
That was actually kind of sweet.
Here comes the next one. This one I'm scared.
Love to share my thoughts. It's your mom.
Oh, look, she's ready to just party with us.
She's wanting to go on live, bro. Uh-oh.
Oh my God, I was so scared, bro. I was so scared. Like she was about to come after me.
She didn't even drop
your
whole name live on there.
I know. Why did she even drop the soap? She didn't do nothing. That she should have been like.
She said she called again.
Again.
She said 3 times.
3 times. Did she really say? Oh my God! Please say no.
It's gonna be like, hey, answer the phone.
Right. It's like in this podcast so I can whoop your ass and go to confession. No, I only got 2. Ha ha. Oh. Nah, I got a 3rd one. It just said. But it was before it was nothing. She said nothing but nice. See, my mom loves me. My mom loves me. She can't even call and reprimand me when she should.
She said you were not scared enough. Oh no.
All right. So, guys, look, we've been through all the calls tonight.
Yeah.
We have, we've done everything. All right. So, we've talked about Cam Irving. All right. I got one last question for you, Cody, because I know I cannot let you leave before midnight. Like, I'm going to keep you up till like 2 a.m.
I knew it.
But, all right. My question to you is this. Is there anything about this free agency in the first days that gives us an eye to the NFL draft? The Panthers move on offensive linemen, right? We're not fucking with the defense. We're not messing with the corner, you know.
Well, we tried. We just didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything that gives us a clear shot. But is there something about building this line? Does it tell us anything about Trey Lance? Does it give us something
about?
Or are they trying to actually kill Teddy Bridgewater? Teddy Bridgewater was mad before that they tried to trade him. Now they tried to kill him.
I'm not really. Listen, I don't put too much into these free agent signings, man. I really told you what I think it's earlier. It's depth. I don't think you're going to learn a lot from Cam Irving and Pat Elflein. How about this too? I'm not even so sure that those 2 guys were our first options. Like there are other teams with more money. It's free agency, man. These players now, for the first time, get to kind of choose their destiny in terms of where they go. So we don't even know if these guys that we signed were our first option. So I don't read too much into it. I think that the Panthers are desperate for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they will do anything necessary to be able to pull that off. In fact, I've already called my shot. My official Nostradamus prediction is that the Carolina Panthers are going to try and trade with the Jets for the number 2 pick. Now, whether
I hope that more than anything, bro.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Like watching, you guys were talking about it earlier, and I know not everybody in the chat were able to see that. But when Lombardi was on Pat McAfee's show earlier, he was talking about how if he were in the Jets organization, he wouldn't roll the dice on a quarterback that. I mean, how much more can you love? You know, obviously we haven't seen enough from Sam Darnold, to be able to justify getting rid of a quarterback, and the amount of what like Sam Darnold would require it based on what Lombardi said is nobody's going to pay that. Like nobody's going to give a high second, late first round pick and also personnel for Sam Darnold. Like nobody's going to do that. But I mean, if you're a franchise, I mean, you're rolling the dice again on a Zach Wilson who's shown a lot of promise, but also could wind up being Sam Darnold. You know?
I mean, it's always a possibility. It really is always a possibility.
It is.
Every quarterback you pick. I mean, I hate to say it, Cody. I know you love Trevor Lawrence, but there's a chance Trevor Lawrence can be a bust. Remember Ryan Leaf when he came in the league? Everybody thought how great he was. I mean, it happens. Now, I don't think he will be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a chance you take, and no risk it, no biscuit, man. You got to pull the trigger at some point in time.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But they already put what I'm talking about is they pulled the trigger. So I think we have an opportunity to trade this. Like Lombardi changed my mind almost. Like there is a chance the Jets stick around for Darnold. Like I mean, you've given them.
Again.
Yeah, I mean, he made a point. You guys were talking about it earlier when you were doing the film review of saying like, there's only so much a quarterback can do. He was talking about Peyton Manning, saying like he only won two Super Bowls. That's it, and he is by and large outside of Tom Brady considered the best quarterback in the NFL in history. And he only
generation, for sure.
He could only take a team to the Super Bowl 2 times or 3 times and win 2 of them. And so there's only so much a quarterback can do. And so if you're not providing somebody for them to be able to throw the ball to be able to, build a team around him, I mean, that's just one of the most inept squad like teams that have ever been run in the past, decade. Just having the way they handled with the GM and then Gase and then Le'Veon Bell. I mean, that entire situation was a soap opera. Coming into that as a rookie quarterback, and then like he being thrown to the wolves with his injuries, mono, everything else that's happened to him while he's been there with the Jets. I mean, it's one of the worst markets to go and play for and not be considered elite because the media just tears you open. It's just he has an opportunity to possibly be able to come back and still be a good quarterback. And are the Jets, going to take that second round pick and say, all right, we're going to go ahead and just restart, or can we start building some pieces around this guy we believed in at one point?
DK is making a lot of good points, bro.
Peyton Manning lost to the Saints.
All right, my mom had one last call. Here it comes. Here comes my mom. Mama, this ain't my mama.
I'm here to give you a word of
it is.
encouragement. I'd like to talk to your friends there. I think you guys have some great potential. Give me a chance to share my thoughts. Love you. Still not giving up. Still not giving up.
Dude, that is so sweet. Like your mom just wants to like talk and check in on her.
I feel like it's a trap, though. I kind of feel like it's a trap.
Yeah, right. There's something ominous.
I just want to offer some words of encouragement. She just comes in here and scares us a new one.
My mom's got my back forever, you. I tell you this, as I could be a murderer, my mom on my back. She's the best.
Wait, are you a murderer?
She's the best. Yes, I'm a murdering people that hate Cam Newton.
Yeah,
I'm gonna murder these mugs. I got a lot of people murdering on the internet.
No question.
My mom always had my back though.
No question, bro.
Isn't that wonderful? Where you got some cats in your life, no matter what. Like it doesn't matter. Like they're like whatever you did, we got your back. And not that my mom would condone anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wouldn't be, like, happy that that mess happened. But she always got my back. She got my back, period. This is a good Italian mom. That's a good Italian mother right there. All right. So we've talked with Paul Catalina. We talked about Cameron Irving. We talked about Pat Elflein. We talked about Zach Kerr. One last question to you guys is Jermaine Carter Jr. defriended a bunch of that, like, he said, I love everybody, my players, but I don't love the team. Like, he didn't say that. That was a little, like, he didn't say that. It was just saying, like, it did not seem like he was coming back with the Carolina Panthers. How are they going to deal with this linebacker core? I'm wearing the Shaq Thompson jersey. My man called me out earlier for it, and I understand. But this is a China jersey. What else am I supposed to do? I didn't pay $150 for it. I paid $25 for it. China jersey.
I don't know all the free agents at the linebacker position, but I hear Quan Alexander got released by the Saints. Look, they signed Alex Arma, so shit, we might as well keep him in division. He went from Tampa. Then I think it went to San Francisco. Then I think it went to New Orleans. Well, fuck it, dude. Let's bring him back to Carolina, man. You know, why not? I think we need him at the position. It doesn't.
Didn't
really
he sign somewhere else already? Or am I mistaken?
Maybe he did. All I saw was that the Saints released him.
Yeah.
But
All
I don't
right.
know what else.
Okay. Well, then we've been through everything. Let's ice some fools up. Does anybody got an ice up pick?
I gotta go.
I hope somebody. All right, then you go first, Greg.
I'm going to share some
You're
stuff
first.
here. Okay. So I'm going to be icing up 3 different individuals all in the same story here, all for different reasons. Okay.
Nice.
I don't know if anybody watched the Grammys.
I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it either, but just hear little things about it. I'm icing up the people who put things together, the Grammys themselves. I'm icing up Bill Burr, and I'm icing up let's see the name of a character here, Claiborne Griffin. So let me tell you the story. I'm icing up the Grammys because you don't get an un-PC guy to give an award on a show like this if you're not expecting something un-PC to be said. So it was a bad call just to have him on there anyway for a guy who you know is going to be like this. I'm not saying I have anything against that. If that's the way your comedy is, you do that's fine. Some can be funny, but I can see how it can be misconstrued. So you don't put somebody up there that's going to say some un-PC stuff. So let me share with you what everybody's going crazy about that he says here. So let's see. I got to escape the full screen here. It's only like a little 9-second clip. He's basically giving a speech. Let's see, share screen. He's giving an award for the Tropical Latin album, like winner for Tropical Latin album. And I don't particularly think he was that racist with what he said, but I could see how people would think this way. So let's see. Let me know if y'all are seeing this.
There it is.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
No, I can't.
No, you have to share your sound. Whenever you share it, there's a little check box at the bottom that says share sound also. You might have to do it again.
All right,
okay.
Let's do it. All right, let's do it again. I'm gonna remove it. Let's do it.
Share screen. Oh, I get you. Share audio. Okay.
Yep.
So check it out. Here's what it says. Just a little. Oop. Got it.
You add it.
I got it.
All right. Let's see if I can hit play here.
Latino stuff. And the great male
go.
doing all this.
Dang it, I'm messing this up. Here we go.
All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this cis white male doing all this Latino stuff? And the Grammy goes.
That was what he says.
Yeah, how many,
okay, which I
feminists
get
are,
it.
like,
I
going
see how
nuts? So
people
why is
can look at that as racist. Okay,
It's
like I said,
not though.
I don't see it as that racist. Exactly.
Oh,
Listen to this response that somebody gave on Twitter here. I'm going to share this and so people can read this. This is a response by Claiborne Griffin, and I'll read it out. It says, while I'm not suggesting Bill Burr is racist, a white man having a non-white wife can sometimes be a sign of racism. So you shouldn't assume someone isn't racist just because they own a minority sex servant. They may very well be one because they're racist. And the response above that from his wife, from Bill Burr's wife, is great. Like, I love it.
Yeah, this is why.
That's his wife above it. That's the response. Like, I'm icing up this Claiborne Griffin. Listen, if you try to take every single thing and twist it around to be racist, guess what? You're racist. That's all there is.
One other thing, Greg, is that this made this woman helpless in this equation. Right?
Yeah, I feel like he just made that woman absolutely, like, he tried to take the power away from her by stating
she has
that.
no choice. She has no choice in being a woman, being a person, being an individual. That's the fucked up part about it.
Yeah.
Or not, I won't say there's a lot of effed up parts about it.
If
but
like if liking a black woman makes you racist, then I'm a
Right.
racist motherfucker,
Right.
bro. Well, let me tell you,
Hey,
fucking.
be careful. Be careful. Somebody gonna clip that and just take out everything else.
All right, they're gonna clip that part. Yeah, bro.
I just think it's so funny
Well,
how far
then
some
guess
people will
what?
go to straight
We
racism.
all love it.
Yeah, bro.
Now, I'm not denying racism doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong, I'm saying that. I'm
Sure,
saying
sure.
this
No,
kind of
I'm with
situation
you.
right here, to say that a man's wife is a minority sex servant when you don't know anything about them, that says some things
Right.
about you.
She could be whipping his ass in the bedroom for all you know. She could be a dumb ass. She could do, no. You're right. It does. It pulled, it made her a passive person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
well,
what
until
this,
she gets-
that,
until she
that
gets-
Into her tweet. Bitch, shut the fuck up.
And then she went,
Yeah.
she put that boy on his knees. All right, that's a good ice up. All right, who's next?
I guess I'll just go next. This is Oh, hey, hang on. Do y'all want me to read Deshaun's response?
Yes, please.
Okay. As a result of a social media post by a publicity-seeking plaintiff's lawyer, I recently became aware of a lawsuit that has apparently been filed against me. I have not yet seen the complaint, but I know this. I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect. The plaintiff's lawyer claims that this isn't about money, but before filing the suit, he made a baseless six-figure settlement demand, which I quickly rejected. Unlike him, this isn't about money for me, and it's about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that. Hell yes, bro. And you know
Good
what?
answer.
My fucking ice up pick for the night is this bullshit Marine fucking lawyer in Texas that's trying to sour the name of Deshaun Watson with some sexual assault bullshit. Like, as soon as I fucking heard it, I knew that it was dumb. I knew that it was bullshit. Apologies to Mrs. Joanne Dunn. My language is fiery right now. But, dude, I'm telling you, man, this, from the moment I saw it, it just felt like somebody was trying to do some dirty shit.
I mean, listen.
And try and sour the man and his name.
No, it's not even. Honestly, I don't even think it's about that. I think if you want to really dig deep into this and really try to get conspiracy theory all out of it, like, think about it from this perspective. Like, he's going to be found acquitted of that. Like, there is probably going to be no basis for this, and he's not going to have to pay anything. But guess what? He's going to be exhausted from having to fight this. Is he going to really hold out? You know what I mean?
Dude, that fucking the Texans are trying to fucking Vladimir Putin his ass. They're trying to show
you got to think, if he's Deshaun's mind, he's got to be thinking that.
Yeah. By the way, he clapped back at him too. He said the plaintiff's lawyer claims that this isn't about money, but before filing the suit, he made a baseless six-figure settlement demand. So they were trying to settle with him before this even fucking came out. Dude, this smells dirty as shit. And there are people in the world today that will use something like the Me Too movement, and they will use it at a time when we're believing women and their accusations and hearing them. But now when you pile this onto someone, you immediately sour and tarnish their name because they can't instantly prove these accusations right or wrong. It's bullshit. Listen, I've never personally met Deshaun Watson, but everyone that has ever been around him for a lengthy period of time talks about what kind of person he is, what he does for the community. He's an exceptional young man, and we don't believe this bullshit slander, man. At least I don't. So to some money grubbing punks down there in Texas, in Houston, ice up, son. That's my
all right. My ice up pick goes to fake maskers. And when I say fake maskers, I don't want to mask debate with you guys. I don't want to mask debate about the importance of wearing a mask and this and that. But we have been through COVID for a year now. I was in Italy 1 year ago. Remember, guys? Like we pushed the show. I was in Italy when this joint dropped. I come back. They come back. I come back and they close everything. Fake maskers. And what I mean by that is this, is that if you truly believe, and I'm not here to debate with you about, like I said, I'm not about the mask debate with you. But I feel like everywhere I look is people are so fatigued by the COVID. Like they don't, wherever I go right now, nobody gives a F. Nobody cares like one bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it is this everywhere. I mean, I go everywhere and then like, I'm not saying go everywhere, but I'll be wearing my mask and then people are like, I look like the weird mug. So the people who, what I say is fake maskers are the ones that wear it and then talk shit about everybody, but then go and do all the shit that spreads disease. Y'all fake maskers. I mean, you really are. You're a fake masker. Like if you wear your mask from the core, this and that, but then you go to the restaurant, you go to the bar, you do this. You're fake. You're masturbating.
Masturbating.
Yes,
I wish people would pick a side. Either wear one and wear it all the time when you have to, or fucking don't wear it at all.
Where are the tomatoes after that joke?
I don't even care if you believe it or not. Is that don't give me crap when you don't really do it. That's the thing, is that people try to act like they're like, oh, I care. And then they go and do things. And they're like, well, I wore my mask from the car to the store, but then I kissed the lady. And I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm tired of mask debating. And that's ice in my eyes up, man.
Ice up.
The numbers 252-228-5098. We almost got it out of here at 11, but then we talked for 45 more minutes because my mom called in. Oh my gosh. My mom called in 3 times. And you know what? She was so nice. Usually she's going to beat my ass later. Don't worry. All right. C3 Panthers podcast live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Cody Lashney, you are doing your thing on Draft Tech. We're post and on C3, bro. You're doing film reviews. I'm posting on the website. You're going to get us some subscribers.
Yeah, man. We're going to keep on doing it. I love doing these film reviews. Hopefully we won't continue to get taken down for these stupid copyright strikes, but I'm going to continue to put out film reviews on a bunch of different players that Panther Nation wants to know about, and just people in general. I love to watch film, break down film, so make sure you hit the notification bell to get notifications whenever the Cat Chronicles YouTube channel goes live. You can find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. You can hit me up and message me, DM me, all that good stuff. And this week there will be a post-free agency mock draft on drafttech.com, and all the comments for the Panthers are written by yours truly.
Greg, where can they get after you?
Oh, man, you can check me out at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter. Find me on there. It's my only form of social media. You can find all my shows, Super Civil Servants, and everything on Geek Ultimate Alliance. I'm a lot of time a week.
My man is counting down the days till what?
Till Thursday at 3 a.m. I've already took off work Thursday. Tomorrow when I come home, I'm going to take like a 4-hour nap, and then I'm going to watch Man of Steel, then Batman vs. Superman, and if I time it out perfectly, it'll go right into Justice League. So it'll be 10 hours of...
Is that what we do?
Watching.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing. All right. Look, I got the first 2 planned out. All right, man, what a deal. Greg, the BatDaddy52 Super Civil Servants podcast, and the man of many streams, the voice that is sultry and silky.
Oh, and I do want to say I've seen a few people from the Panthers chat in my different shows. I appreciate y'all showing up. That's awesome. And if you're interested in Justice League, Thursday and Friday doing 2 different reviews, come check it out. It's gonna be really fun.
Word up.
Listen to
CK, it's the CK. Give us that voice. Give us a voice.
One man in a fight to survive. Deshaun Watson throws fists at a money-hungry attorney trying to get him to stay in Houston.
Bam, bam, bam. Where can they find that beautiful sultry
You can
voice
find
on
me
the
on
instrument?
Facebook. I am a streamer there. I am pretty much on all social media platforms. Go show me some love over on them places as well. But guys, if you're really, really interested in chatting, one of the quickest ways to have these conversations and have them go long term, like for long threads at a time, is that Discord. Go to that Discord, guys. It's growing a little bit. We got about 35, 40 members in there, and everybody.
And they are chatting, bro. They
Yeah.
are chatting. I look at it. I'm like, oh my god, y'all.
I
love the
just
Pan-
posted
y'all
the
might
link
as
in
well.
the chat room again too. So for
Do
those who want to join,
Do it.
yeah, man, come join us. There's always a lively discussion there. And hey, it's also turned into a good little bit of a news dump for us. You know,
Yeah.
people are posting links.
That's what I wanted to become. Is
Yeah.
the way I look at it is that I kind of admire what Reddit is. Like I hate Reddit because the people in it are half the time they're giant dicks.
Yeah,
they're protective peon tree dicks, but they always have great conversation, and that's what they've cultivated. They've cultivated that. They've worked hard to shun away a shallow conversation.
But you know
they're
what?
first on a lot of things, but I think Discord can be that.
Well, we've
I
worked hard
truly
too.
do. I think it's a live version.
And I'll
It's a
tell you
live
what,
chat
man.
version of Reddit.
We're at the end of our show. We still got 60 people watching at the very end. I'm telling you, man, we have the best Panther fans in this chat room every single night, listening to us on Spotify, however you listen to this, man. And we're growing, man. The amount of new faces that we see in this chat room every Tuesday night is incredible, man. So many new faces liking what we're doing. Hey, man, it's never been a better time to be a follower of the C3 podcast,
All right.
baby.
Well, take us out of here. 252-228-5098. What do they need to do, Cody?
You need to hit the like button, get them likes up so we're seen by more Panther fans. Hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We are almost there. Share us with all your Panther friends and family. Get the content out there. And hit the notification bell for whenever we go live to make sure you're up to date on all this content that we're putting out. I think that's about it for tonight, boys.
Get us out of here.
Love.
Get
Peace
us
and
out of
love,
here.
everybody. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Doctors take Field of Greens for their own health. Here's Dr. Ryan Green to explain.
We're like you, too much fast food and not enough exercise. That's why I take Field of Greens. The fruits and vegetables in Field of Greens support my heart, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism for weight loss. And Field of Greens promises your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back.
Get 15% off with promo code HEALTH at fieldofgreens.com. That's promo code HEALTH at fieldofgreens.com. Product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.